What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to SpawnCast. Evan, what episode are we on right now?
It should be 84.
84. Okay, very good, very good. We had a lot of stuff happen this week, so I had to get everyone together here. Max was having some issues with his internet, so he'll be hopefully jumping back in. He was in here and he sounded like a robot, so hopefully he'll get that worked out and he can jump back in. But Sean is back with us.
Hello.
What's going on, man?
Good, going good. Have my sparkling gold emblem, sparkling water peach.
What?
Me too.
It's sparkling water, man. I've jumped on the sparkling water train because I don't really like normal water, but sparkling water is actually tasty.
You got to go buy. Yeah, I drink sparkling water. You got to go buy the place near me. They were closing out Voss water, sparkling Voss water. Got these suckers for like 50 cents a piece.
Oh, damn.
Right. Yeah, they have some weird, like, this one is tangerine lemon grass. So I have no idea what that is.
I just go to CVS.
Yeah, they have sparkling water is very good. I like sparkling water. But yeah, Sean's back with us. And like I said, Max will hopefully be back on. And it looks like, actually, I'm looking down here. It looks like everyone's back awake after that XO18 event. So good. I heard OJ was falling asleep on his stream.
I was not falling asleep. I was playing Switch during the stream because it was just, they started getting to, we'll talk about it.
Blue Bold asked, when will Nintendo Prime going to be on the SpawnCast? Anytime. I don't mind either way. It's a Hangouts thing, so people can jump in pretty easily. If they're
I think we need to remaster the SpawnCast first.
Yeah, we got to remaster the SpawnCast. And then, so OJ's back awake. Yeah, people were telling me you fell asleep. You're just tired? Was it getting you kind of sleepy?
No, it was a joke. You know how memeish my channel can get. Like, people sit there and say I do things that just don't happen.
I mean, I was looking at it and I was like, I could believe it. I mean, I'm looking at the same presentation here. So, I mean, yeah, I guess.
I fell asleep before on something, and that's where the meme kind of like, OJ's asleep, whatever, because I did fall. There was one time where I actually did fall asleep during the stream, and I forgot which one it was, but I fell asleep during one of my streams.
I mean, it must have been pretty boring, so.
Yeah, it was something, but I didn't fall asleep during this one, though. But so I think my fans are just being the silly people that they are.
All right, very good. And then Nate is back with us, keeping his expression the same all the way through. What's going on, Nate?
Not too much.
And you watched XO as well. I think everybody pretty much watched XO. I think
I watched some of XO.
Okay, well, you had an idea of what we were going to be seeing anyway, so you're up to date on it, basically.
Yeah. I mean, I love the part where they said we're going to have a Kingdom Hearts 3 premiere right now, and then they went into a Hellblade commercial. it could have me. I'm like, oh, sweet, Kingdom Hearts 3. I was like, Kingdom Hearts 3 has never looked like this before.
Yeah. And then Evan's back with us. You were at a convention last weekend.
Yep, had to try to make some money.
How'd that go at the convention?
No, it was crap.
Really? Oh, did you sell anything good? Any of your artwork or anything?
I only sold a couple things, but 3 days probably only saw maybe like 45 people pass through.
Wow,
there.
Really? Which place was that again?
It was OXPA, the same place Too Many Games is at.
Wow, and there's no one came out for it. What convention was it again?
It's called Thy Geekdom. It's terrible.
And it didn't. Wow, really? Oh,
that's unfortunate, man. Sorry to hear about that.
No one came out. You got to get an artist table at Too Many Games. You got to do.
That's the plan. That's why I'm doing the Bowsette and Buette and others as well. Were you profitable at all? Let me ask you that, if you don't mind. Were you? No. Oh no. I only kind of made back the gas it took to get there that week.
Oh man. Oh, jeez. Yeah. When you get you at Too Many Games, get an art table set up there.
Oh, yeah,
I think. Yeah, that place is just crazy busy all the time. Yes, so we all watched XO. We're going to talk about XO. There were some Nintendo Direct rumors again by, I think Gaming Intel is still like really pushing those around, so we'll probably talk about that as well. And then the old PlayStation Classic. So let's jump into what we've been playing. What's everyone been playing this week? Anything good?
Bro, holla! Been playing Holla. That's been around for a bit. Yeah, it just came out on Switch for free.
Okay. It came out on Switch and Xbox, I think.
Yeah. Been playing. It's fun. It's a nice little diversion for Smash before Smash comes out. I had to smack around the Ninja Village for a bit today, so it was good. It was fun smacking them around today, so it was fun. I had fun playing it. It's like it's Smash, but just not. It's not as good as Smash, but it's fun and it's free. And they give you like 8 characters, so I would suggest downloading and trying it out yourself. But yeah, I had a lot of fun playing it. And I'm going to continue playing it. I was playing it during the XO event.
Oh man, you do some picture in picture with that. People would probably enjoy that. Oh man. Yeah, so Brawl, I'll have to try that out. I downloaded it on the Switch, but I haven't tried it yet. So I need to check it out just to see how it plays and everything on the Switch. I think we played that on PC, didn't we, Evan? Am I thinking right? We played something else.
Yeah, no, we played a different one. We didn't play Brawlhalla.
There are a couple like these kind of like arena style fighters that try to be Smash.
Yeah, we played one with Hyper Light Drifter in it. I can never remember the name of it.
Yeah, that'll come to me.
Brawl Out?
Brawl. See, that's the thing. One's called Brawlhalla, one's called Brawl Out. It's like they're so close.
Yeah.
Brawl. I'll check out Brawl because that has Rayman in it.
Yeah.
Ubisoft owns the company. They purchased the company that makes the game.
Yeah, that was probably a pretty easy. Just move the character over and you're good, kind of thing.
Yeah.
What about Sean? What you been up to, man? What you been playing?
Man, I've been playing actually a lot of Diablo 3 on the Switch. I really enjoy that game more so than I thought I would. It's funny because I have no idea what's going on in the story. Like I just skip through the story. Like I'm just like I just want to kill things. So like I don't really know what's going on, but been playing a lot of that. Still fucking around with Red Dead 2. Still playing Black Ops 4.
Still playing Black Ops 4. I'm actually surprised. I've moved on from that game pretty quick.
I still, I've actually been doing I've had a lot of fun with domination on that. I play a lot of domination and I have fun. So yeah, it's kind of my nightly wind down game that doesn't really wind me down. What else have I been playing? What week? I'm actually surprised
you. So this is the first time you played Diablo 3.
Yes. Oh. I played the original Diablo years ago on the PC over at a friend's house, just like checking it out. But yeah, it's the first time I played Diablo 3.
Yeah, this one's a bit different. Diablo 3. It's more arcadey. It's much faster.
Yeah, everything's very fast and streamlined and stuff like that. So
they designed it for more console play, and I barely think anyone from the original Diablo series worked on it because by that point they were all fired.
Right.
Yeah, because that game doesn't have split screen on PC, does it? Like you can't have multiple. Can you have multiple people on the same screen on PC?
I don't think so, no. But they designed it for console to allow that to happen.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting that they didn't do that. Yeah, it's a fun game. It's I mean, they added all the extra stuff in. It has like the seasons and everything included in it, so it's all pretty much up to date. But that game was fun a while ago, and then they kept adding to it. So we'll see what else they do with that, or maybe they move on to the next Diablo. But we'll
they
see.
kind of have moved on to another Diablo.
I mean, dude, I got a phone. We're good. People were asked to check. Yeah, my Xbox stream was actually it was blocked in like 18 countries or something. So that's gone
because of the music.
Yes,
it's that stupid. Yes. You know what it is? It's that stupid intro song. The doom doom doom. It is because I think when I did the Inside Xbox stream for the first Inside Xbox, I'm pretty sure my stream got claimed and it was that stupid song.
It was claimed. I think 3 different companies claimed it and like struck it and everything. Jesus. And I was like, I'll just delete it. I don't care. So I just deleted it because it was gone. It was blocked worldwide, and I was like, all right, whatever.
I got blocked worldwide too. So.
Yeah, I was like, that's not working out. Okay. So I moved on from that pretty quick. But yeah, that's where that went. It's gone for good. Some company claimed it. It's not as bad as what happened with Ubisoft though, because they just destroyed channels.
Yeah, mine included.
Yeah, same here. They were all over that. But they fixed it pretty quick. So
for some,
for me, they knew who they copyright struck there.
Here's the thing. I don't see why these companies, why would you block the video completely worldwide? That's what I don't get. Like Kids See Ghost by Pusha T. Like, isn't he got like Drake to worry about? Like, what is he worrying about a video? Like, this is so stupid from these companies, man. Like, I don't know. Whatever. Yeah,
like especially like a presentation like that where it's basically one long advertisement. You figure they want everyone to see it multiple times, but
yeah, I don't.
The problem might come from the music itself, like he's saying, because they might have the rights to play it through their own platform, their own output. But then with us doing it, we technically don't, and it can cause problems.
I think it was when Ubisoft did it. It was claimed, but it was claimed by like Ubisoft, and then they struck it. It was very weird. And when they struck it, we lost our ability to live stream, and it was automatic. They usually don't do it to live streams because live streams automatically like archive. Usually they don't do that, but Ubisoft, man, they destroyed channels.
The other problem is a lot of these companies do use third parties for this. Like, remember that T-shirt I had that I told you about that had the Joker on it, and that got pulled down, even though it was my own version of him. That was because of a third party company that works through Disney and Marvel, who basically hunt down anything like that and strike it. And then all you have to do is email them, and they're like, "Sorry," and they stop.
That's why I avoid sound from games on my video. I'll show you a video, and then I'll have like a random Sonic 2 track playing in the background very quietly.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. I don't really put a lot of music and stuff in mine either, but it's hard to tell what you can and can't play anymore. YouTube should have a way to like scan it before it's finished completely and before they start striking stuff.
Well, you could do it unlisted and let it sit there.
That's true.
Yeah,
it's too much work.
That's what I do because I use music in all mine. So I make sure like I'll upload video, like upload music and be like, okay, this one's safe, this one's not safe, this one's safe, this one's not safe. So that's I've been doing that forever, So
yeah, there's subscriptions you can like, or sites you can subscribe to, and you can use their music. But then we saw this happen before, right? Evan, we were talking about this where
it was Maximilian dude. Someone bought the site he was using and then made it all copywritten again, and all of the videos basically stopped being okay.
I don't trust that. People try to advertise that stuff on Streamlabs and stuff too. Like, oh, we have music, like copyright free if you do that. I'm like, nah, I don't trust that.
I've actually gone through a service with my old network. That had free music that you could use, and I remember getting a copyright claim on one of those songs, and I was like, "What the fuck?" Like at the time, my videos weren't getting very many views, so I didn't care. I was just like, "Okay, whatever." But yeah, ever since then, I've been super sketch.
Let me talk to Evan here. What you been playing this week, man?
I mean, on the Switch, I've been playing this game that popped up. It's called YouTube.
YouTube, yeah. Okay, so that's interesting. You brought YouTube up, mostly because Press Hardy says, "Hey guys, greetings from Germany." What time is it in Germany, Press Hardy? I'm curious. So YouTube is interesting, Evan. Could you bring that up because that popped up, and it was made to be a really big deal actually when it popped up all over the internet. People were really excited for it. Did you check out the app and everything, Evan?
Only a little bit. I linked it to my actual account. It's kind of fun. It's pretty good.
It's what I noticed about the app. I think it's faster than the Xbox and the PlayStation 4 app.
I could see that.
Like it jumps around very quickly. And I don't know if just because their OS is really lightweight or what, but it is a fairly pleasant experience. I don't know if it supports 60 frames per second though. I don't know if it does because when you go to the quality option, it goes like 1080, 720, 480 or whatever. So I don't know if it supports that. It doesn't do 4K. But that might maybe a future thing. I don't know.
Well, you know what they should add, because I think that this is the same with the Xbox app too. Like they don't have it to where you can make a comment like on a live stream.
Ooh, that's interesting.
They need to add that, and that's not on the Xbox either because I use the Xbox to predominantly as my streamer in the living room, and there's no way to comment on a live stream. But you can do it for Twitch on the Xbox app, but you can't do it for YouTube on Switch or on. I'm guessing it's the same for PlayStation too. So that's weird.
Riku says it does support 60 frames per second. The reason I'm saying it could do 4K is because the X1 could technically output video 4K in 4K. Just depends if they can make all that work, I guess, with YouTube and the app and Nintendo in general to make all that work. Because I mean, the UI displays at 720, so they're trying to keep the OS as light as possible. But yeah, YouTube popped up, man. Everyone was really liking it being on the Switch, and I think that's because I think a lot of people are hoping that goes to the next thing, which is like Netflix, and then the next thing, which is Twitch, and then I think that's what people are hoping is that more and more apps are going to start showing up.
Well, they should. I still don't understand why they're taking so damn long.
Yeah, it is interesting that it's taking so long, but at least they got YouTube. I was actually surprised it took this long to get YouTube on there.
Right.
Did I come back? Did it work?
Hey.
You're back, dude.
Oh my entire internet. I pressed to join call. The entire internet, the entire house died. I don't know what happened.
Max is here with his sweet new computer now.
Yes, it's amazing.
Yes, it's like you're going from the Stone Age to the now.
Yeah, man, time traveler. I love it. You guys have been working with the best tech all along. I should have joined the current year.
Yeah, so that's good though. You're back to business and everything. I told you should get those videos upgraded 1080p now and everything with your new hardware.
Yep.
So
yep, yeah, definitely the Spyro review on Monday. That'll be the first video in 1080p.
Nice. Oh, you're playing Spyro now.
Yes, I'm playing Spyro right now.
Cool.
I just basically beat Battlefield 5, and I've put 20 some odd hours into Fallout 76 now.
So I'm concerned about Battlefield
Yeah,
because they put out a slide to explain when the release date is. Did you see this?
I saw it. Yeah, I saw your tweet just now. Yeah.
There's a slide to explain it. And a lot of that has to do with their paywalling or doing like the staggered release. And basically you pay more money, you get in, or you pay even more money, you get in, or you sign up for the subscription, you get in. There's all these weird release dates for getting in, and it's very weird. I mean, we've seen it before, but like this is different. I even think from buy the ultra deluxe version, get in like 3 days early. This is like sign up for our subscription thing, get in like 10 days early or something.
It's like a couple weeks though, isn't it? When's the official release date?
The 20th. People are already playing now.
Yeah.
That was like a couple days ago. I saw Sacriel, who's one of the most popular streamers from Great Britain. Like he had thousands of viewers, and I was watching him like earlier this week playing it. Like,
Yeah, so streamers got access on the 8th, early access to EA access people started on the 9th. Now a lot of the reviewers are getting it. So it's just so dumb.
People had it before the reviewers.
They gave out streamer copies. Well, and they did a weird thing where they gave a lot of us reviewers a copy that would let you play the single player first. So I beat the single player, and then it unlocked the multiplayer later. So now I'm actually getting I've played about 5.5 hours in the multiplayer.
What in the world, man? This is like a whole new oh man.
Well,
they're just trying to see how far they can get away with it, I guess.
It's because it's a dumpster fire.
Yeah, it's weird because it actually has decent reviews right now.
I don't know how. It is one of the most confusing. As a person who loves World War II shooters, and I know I'm one of the last, it's very confusing about how it handles everything.
It's it has an 86 on Metacritic.
the game looks solid from what I've watched.
Play it. My biggest problem is definitely with the story. It very much just makes it feel like war is awesome. And I feel like that shouldn't be the point of a World War II game. Like, you play as the Nazis in the story. You play as like random like Canadian dudes blowing up tanks. And the whole time it's just like, let's keep fighting. And it's like, isn't this like the antithesis?
Yeah, to be fair, looking at the reviews, there are quite a few still in progress.
Yeah.
And a lot of the ones that have reviewed it, because there's only 8 people who have reviewed it, is like none of them are like the bigger sites from what I'm seeing here on Metacritic. They're all like smaller ones.
Yeah.
Well, I've just seen the multiplayer. I'm just saying the multiplayer looked pretty solid, you know.
They made some changes. They made it much more hardcore. It takes a lot of hours. Like, you can't really spot targets in the same way and stuff. It's much harder multiplayer.
Yeah, I might check it out. I don't know, because I was between that or Hitman 2. Because I liked Hitman, the first one they did. Well, the reboot of the first one they did, Hitman 1. So I was looking at Hitman 2, and I was trying to pick between which one I wanted to play, but apparently Battlefield 5 is out in 10 days and not now. So I got time, I guess, to play Hitman. Maybe that's what I'll check out next. On the Xbox. So that's good. Max, Spyro is interesting, though. I'll look forward to hearing what you think about that game. I'm going to see if I can get that on the Xbox and play through some of that. But good stuff. Nate, what about you, man? What you been up to?
I've been playing some The Bug Butcher on Switch.
The Bug Butcher. I'd have to look that one up.
Yeah, it's an arcade style like shooter where you play a bug butcher. Basically, you go into little arena type areas, and bugs are released from hatches above you. So you can only shoot up, and you just go for like the high score. You upgrade your weapon. It's pretty challenging. Okay. It's a cool little indie game.
It's a little indie game. Do you know how much it is? Is it like one of the cheaper type games on there?
I'm not sure. I'll just say like the default price of $14.99, but it could be $10. I'm not too sure what it costs.
Okay,
but
cool.
It's a neat little game, and I've been playing another indie game called Rockets.
I saw that. I did see that one pop up on there. How's that one?
What's it about?
It's about. I'm actually not sure what it's about yet. Like, I'm playing it, and I'm flying as a rocket. I'm shooting my rockets and weapons at another rocket until it blows up. So, I don't even know how to capture footage for it, because I don't think footage really makes it. You still don't understand what you're watching. So
interesting. So you're just taking a deep dive on some of those indie games, huh?
Yeah, and Shrine Enchanted Edition.
Yeah, that actually dropped randomly out of nowhere, which was cool.
Yeah, it's pretty solid. I mean, it's the same Shrine people played when it first came out, but
I mean, yeah, but they have the other ones coming as well. So that'll be
I mean, Shrine 3 is still not going to be any good, but
I spent a little bit of time playing. Well, actually, I played a lot more with Red Dead Redemption 2, and then I actually grabbed World of Final Fantasy Maxima on the Switch as well from Square. I had it on the PS4, but I wanted to check it out on the Switch as well because the Maxima version is supposed to add a bunch of stuff, and it's still World of Final Fantasy. It's just the resolution seems lower. I think that's the biggest thing. Otherwise, it's the same game. So, but I was one of the people who liked World of Final Fantasy. It's Final Fantasy mixed with Pokemon. So there you go.
I was gonna buy that, but digital only for $40.
Oh, that explains it. So after I watched your video, Spawn, I actually went to 3 separate stores the next day. Like I just checked a couple Walmarts and Targets next to my house, and none of them had a copy. And I was like, "That's so weird. I had no idea it was digital only."
Yep,
yeah, screw that.
Isn't it physical on Xbox One though?
It is.
Yeah. And I own it physical on PS4, but I own almost no physical Switch games. So I was like, "Oh, I'm going to make it a point to buy a copy." But
I would have bought a copy because if it was physical, I would have bought a copy. There was no physical version, so I was like, maybe they'll announce one later, or maybe I'll just run into it on the Xbox One because I'll probably just get it on Xbox One at some point, maybe.
it's also it's like $5 on PS4 right now.
I just there's something about streaming games from PS.
The Maxima edition, I think to upgrade to that is like another $23, I think, on the other systems, well, like the PS4 and the PC. So I guess it's like $30 then technically. But yeah, it's interesting. Let me see how large it is. Maybe that'll tell us why it's not on not a physical release.
I think it's 10 gigabytes, a little bit over 10.
Yeah, because if that's the case, they probably didn't want to drop it on a on a 16 gigabyte cart or whatever.
It would have been a 16 gigabyte cart, yeah, because it's not under 8 gigabytes. I know that.
Yeah, yep, it's 10.7. So yeah, they probably didn't want to drop that on a 16 if they're only selling it for $40.
Cheap bastards.
Pretty much.
They probably want to get into that. Max, do you is that Spyro game? Is that on the PS4 you're playing it?
Yeah, they only give out review codes on PS4.
Oh, see, I asked for the Xbox version. That's probably
yeah.
why.
I actually asked for that too because sometimes they'll give out Xbox codes more than PS4 for some reason. Less people ask for it, so I asked, and they specifically told me we're only giving out PS4. So I have no idea if that's a marketing deal with Sony or what, but.
All right, so XO18, Max, you watched it as well?
I'll be honest, I watched about 40 minutes of your stream of it, Spawn, like as you were like commentating over it, and wow, what a bore fest. I shut it off just because, I figured I'd play some more Battlefield 5, and I think the only thing that was worth the time is I do think that Crackdown 3 was better than I expected. Like,
yes,
finally getting a good look at it, I'm less afraid of it just being trash, but everything else was, oh my god, so boring.
Yeah, all right, so they showed Crackdown 3 and I was bracing myself. I was like, this is gonna be bad. And then they showed it and I was like, all right, it's performing well, all the destruction's still there, and it has 5-on-5 multiplayer. I was like, all right, that's good. I still need to play it, right? Because we watched people play it, and people are playing it on the showroom floor, which means there's probably video coming out from it. But I was mildly shocked that it worked, and it worked well, seemingly. They had that weird auto aim lock on thing. I was like, "Ooh!"
I was about to mention that. Like, what the hell was up with that?
I don't know.
Didn't even notice.
It was it looked like not quite snap 2 targeting, but like snap 2 and like grab on targeting.
It's snap and orbit or something is what it's usually called.
It was jarring. Like they locked on and he was just lighting the other guy up, and I was like, wow, is that really what the multiplayer is going to be like, where everyone's just locking onto each other and whoever pressed the right trigger first wins?
So it's like GTA 3 where like you just hold a lock on button and it's just basically locked onto their face.
Dude, it followed. It looked like it was following because they were still moving, but like their reticule was like glued to the person.
Oh yeah, that's really bizarre.
If you go back and watch that, it was like, wow, that's something. Okay, so that's how we're playing this game. But the destruction looked like it was intact. It looked like the first time they showed it to us, it still looks like that. So I was pretty happy. It looks like they are using the cloud. Like the cloud is actually real. It's going to work apparently. How well it's going to work, we'll see. But I was surprised. I was surprised.
I thought it was funny that the skit that they did with Terry Crews. That was really
That was
funny.
pretty good. Yeah,
Yeah.
they had him in like the gym bag.
If you pay that many millions of dollars to put him in commercials, you better invent a lot of commercials to put him in. And I guess that's what they did. Like, all right, put him everywhere.
I'm guessing he wasn't cheap to have Terry Crews.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I know, yeah. Well, I bet they signed that deal forever ago. So at this point, they're like, all right, look, the check is clear. Just put that man, put him in a gym bag, all right?
Nate, what'd you think about that Crackdown reveal?
I mean, it looks better than the first time we saw it.
Yeah.
It still looks like Crackdown, which isn't a bad thing. I love Crackdown 1, and I'm probably the only person in the world who actually kind of enjoyed Crackdown 2.
I didn't like Crackdown 2 that
too.
much.
I like Crackdown 2. Not as much as 1, but I like it.
I think Crackdown 3 they need to get a beta or something out to show that people show that multiplayer mode to people, have it in their hands right now. Let us play it and really say, oh, the cloud destruction's awesome. This is fun. Just seeing it like we did is just like, okay, the game exists. You're telling us it's coming out in 3 months. But I need something of substance in my hand to really believe that Crackdown 3 will make February 15th.
Yeah, February 15th. It's actually coming out a week earlier than I thought it was going to come out. Because I thought it was going to come out same day as Anthem and everything like they kind of talked about. It's coming out a week earlier, actually. And
it's the same day as that terrible looking Jump Force game.
Yeah, I think it's the visuals on that Jump Force, man. It looks I mentioned it looked like when Homer and Bart went into like 3D space and then the real world in that Halloween episode. That's what it reminds me of.
Because it's like watching Goku fight Frieza in Paris, and like Paris looks real, and they look like I don't know what Goku.
That claymation.
Like. It's weird looking. It just doesn't mesh well. It's kind of frightening to see like a realistic Frieza walking around the Eiffel Tower shooting energy beams and destroying the street.
There's been a beta, and like people that have played the beta have said that it's okay. So I don't know if it's going to be horrible once it comes out, but we'll have to wait and see. But this is not the first time they've done this. They did this with the previous PS3, like the Jump All Stars, whatever.
Yep, I was about to say, if you play, I played a bunch of that. And what was that called? Jump Force Ultra Plus or whatever. I played a bunch of that, but every character, if I remember correctly, every character played basically the same. Like their combos would look different, but basically square, 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 triangle, triangle. Like everything was the same combo with every character. It was really weird.
Yeah, it's called J-Star's Victory Versus.
That's what it,
and the guy actually said that on the stream. All the characters they all play the same, but they have different moves.
I think it's more shocking because now we're in 4K and it is as clear as anything with these characters and what they look like.
It's really a continuation of. I mean, I've played this J-Stars, whatever. Like I've played that on the PS3 and I thought it was horrible. So maybe they've made some improvements, but it's the same art style. It's just even better now because the hardware is so much.
Yeah, it's getting scary.
And that just makes it look like terrifying. It's
we need to get another super cringy story because the story of the last one is literally everybody got in a magical happy boat and was sailing it from each person's like universe. So like Naruto's like, yo guys, this is the ninja village. It's like, oh no, this is awful.
That was the best part of the. No, I'm joking.
It was. I loved it because it was terrible. It was so bad. I loved it.
That's my whole gimmick with my channel there. It's all good.
Yes, and also Crackdown, the first one, is completely free right now. So if you want to go download it, you can fire it up on your Xbox and go download it. It's like 6 gigabytes. It's Xbox One X enhanced, and it is an awesome game to go pick up for free. Can't beat it. Sean, did you download it yet?
No.
Go download that game, man. It's free.
Yeah, I mean, if it's free.
Yeah, you just basically just got to go hit download and you get it. That's it. There's nothing else to it. So awesome game, though, if you missed it. Awesome game. So then we moved on to actually a lot of boring stuff. Now I'm looking at the list.
What are you talking about?
Blade is on Game Pass next month.
Okay, so they did touch on Game Pass. Was interesting because they showed it was definitely a mixture of a lot of indie games, but PUBG is on there, which I think they had to put PUBG on there because it's going to the PS4 next month. And then they also have Hellblade, which is actually a good game to have on Game Pass, and I think people should play it, and I think they should use headphones while they play it. But that's a good game to have on there. I think there's a lot of people missed that one, and it's gonna be really neat to see people try it out.
Yes, I haven't played it yet, and I have heard very good things about it, so I'll be checking it out on there. The biggest problem with the damn event was it didn't need to be an event. You don't need 2 hours. You don't need to go to Mexico City and do a 2-hour event and hype up the damn event and say there's going to be surprises and announcements and reveals and shit like that. And the surprises and announcements and reveals are of Game Pass stuff and DLC for games that we already know exist. When the biggest complaint about the Xbox One is the fact that there's not really any, first party exclusive games to the system. And you have games coming out, supposedly. You have Battletoads coming out in 2019. Can't give me a Battletoads trailer at this thing? Like, it was just so infuriating.
But Sean, where else can you go and have, as Agent Cueto is saying here, a crowd chanting "Sea of Thieves"?
Well, Jesus Lord, we all know that there was some fuckery, for lack of a better term, going on with that crowd. Like, you could see when Phil Spencer is standing there with the lady who's interviewing him. There's a shot where you could see the guy going like this, the production guy going like this, so that people would start cheering and stuff. And allegedly that Mexico City is very fluent in English, but I feel like there was a lot of people there who just didn't really know what was being talked about. And because I mean, Jesus Christ, they went insane when it said that there was puzzle mini games in the 100 Acre Woods for Winnie the Pooh part of Kingdom Hearts 3. They literally went insane. They started cheering when the guy from Square Enix was speaking in Japanese. And it's like, all right, you guys might understand English, I'll give you that, but there's no way in hell you guys are understanding Japanese. Like, it's some of the things where they expected the crowd to pop, they didn't pop, and then they were just, going batshit crazy at random stuff. It just felt so forced. It felt like this long commercial for things we already knew about, things that could have been done in like a press release, or things that could have been done a lot simpler. We know that new games come to Game Pass every month. They put up a press release for that every month. We knew that they were acquiring new studios. You don't have to go out there and say we bought new studios. What are they working on? Oh, we can't really talk about it. It's still this, that, and the other. It's like, what's the point? What's the point of? I think that really is the problem, is that they hyped it up. And, I know Kid Smooth and me got into a little back and forth on Twitter, and he was like, well, people should have known what to expect. And I showed him a tweet that Xbox had tweeted like a week ago that said surprises, announcements. And it's like, these aren't really the surprises and announcements that people were looking for.
I will say this, though. I get what you're saying, bro. And then, you know what? I agree with you for the most part, but you've got to remember, this is Xbox.
True.
You've got to set it just a notch down or two based on what they've done. That's it. But I agree with you, man. Like, I agree with you. Though.
Well, the thing of it is, I didn't even realize that it was an inside Xbox presentation until very recently. And right then and there, I was like, oh my God. Because, if you watch Inside Xbox, it's a very long fluff show that could be done, in 15 to 30 minutes with all the good stuff. But I don't know, man. It just felt, it was just disappointing. I was hoping for a bit more. I was hoping that, doing something like this, going to Mexico City, making an event for Xbox would have brought more information about things we weren't aware of. Like, it was a third-party sizzle reel. Like, these third-party, Square Enix and Capcom must be like, hey, great, we don't even have to promote this shit now because we got Xbox to do it for us. Like, it was just crazy to me.
I think my favorite part is where this Square Enix guy in Japanese had the translator tell the crowd to actually shut up so he could talk about Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, good, yeah.
That was good.
They needed just one piece to really kind of stir up the news cycle. I think they needed to at least tip their hand about what Xbox Scarlet was going to be, or they needed to say something about like just the name of the Xbox 2 officially, or something else a bit to get the crowd hyped. Because you're right, the biggest problem was the fact that it was just like, hey, check out Obsidian. You guys know this obscure RPG? And one guy's like, it was like, yeah, well, we bought them. Like, it was just like everybody on Twitter was like, what the fuck?
That was oh, sorry.
I was gonna say that was the ending, was them buying two studios. What were you saying, Sean?
Well, there's a guy in the chat who says, well, it's funny if Nintendo did the same thing and announced Mario DLC, everyone would be throwing their money at the computer. But the thing about it is like going into like a Nintendo event or a Sony event or something like that, there's always a surprise. There's always something that you didn't know about. So things like, DLC and stuff like that, it's complementary to the bigger announcements, the surprises, the things that you weren't expecting.
Okay. Hold up, Jay's going into attack mode.
No, it's not going into. Hold up, I'm not going into. I'm just saying, like, Nintendo's not going to go to Mexico City and do all this type of hype for before. They're not going to do the same.
They're also not going to have
a
a 2-hour. They would have like a half-hour presentation.
You can't completely take it to one. They just Nintendo did the same thing. People would just throw the money at this. No, Nintendo wouldn't do what they did. That's the first thing. They wouldn't go to Mexico City. They wouldn't do a 2-hour presentation. They wouldn't do all that for DLC, for Mario DLC though. So I see what the person's trying to say. Not trying to harp on the opinion on that. But I mean, when has Nintendo done that? Like, when has Nintendo ever done a 2-hour presentation in Mexico City and hyped it way beforehand? They barely tell us when they do have hype Nintendo Directs. They barely tell us beforehand about that, and it's all pre-recorded. And it's like,
was that event live or was it pre-recorded?
The intro was pre-recorded, but the entire event was live.
I will say they did a.
What am I apologizing for in the chat? Like, what am I apologizing for? What the hell? Anyway, just go on.
Well,
I'm not apologizing about anything. I'm just saying they're not going to do the same thing.
Apologist means you go to bat to defend things. And
I'm not defending.
You're defending Nintendo when no one's talking about it. Is what I think what they're referring.
Well, no, I brought it up because that's what the guy in the chat said that.
He brought it up, and I'm saying Nintendo's not going to do the same thing because he said, "Oh, if they did like Mario DLC, people would be throwing money at the screen." I mean, first of all, it's a false argument in the first place. You're just making up something that didn't happen in the first place. But I'm just saying, like, when has Nintendo ever done that? Not about being an apologist. When has Nintendo ever done what we just saw right now?
They
just
did.
Let me know.
They did like E3 2012, where they ended with Nintendo Land Fireworks.
Come on, it's a banger.
And what did I say about Nintendo Land Fireworks? And what did I say about E3 2015? My whole freaking website crumbled after that because I was bashing them on E3 2015. I lost my whole website because of that. Got DDoS attacked because I said, no, this is not very good. So when did I ever apologize for anything? So that's garbage.
When did they show off Wii Music? When was that?
I don't know. Wii Music was a fun game.
Bullshit.
It's not okay. It's not a fun game. It's a fun experience.
That game's like 130 megabytes, I think.
I liked it. I don't know.
It's so bad, and I honestly think that's definitely one of the worst E3 presentations I've ever seen.
The
really bad guy with
crap.
the fake drummer comes out with the crazy fake spike hair and starts doing the whole drum solo, and the crowd is dead silent.
What year was it they did the puppets and everything?
That was
2016.
Yeah.
That was Star Fox Zero, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it was 2016 because it was.
Oh, it was 2015, guys.
Was
it?
Wasn't 2016 all?
I think it was 2016 because I remember photoshopping it.
2016 was all Zelda, right? That's all when they showed up with just one game.
Yeah, 2016 was all Zelda.
Yeah.
2015 was puppets.
Yeah, because it was the same year that Iwata died. Because it was a month later, he apologized for E3 and then passed away.
All the puppet exciting bit. Yeah, it's 2015. There's a bunch of videos that are just called "My Puppet Is Ready" 2015.
Oh man,
I bashed the hell out of that, dude. I was like, this is.
I loved it because it was dumb as hell. I loved it.
I was like, Nintendo gave up. I said Nintendo gave up, and people got so mad that I said that.
Oh no, Jackson, you're probably gonna make Sean mad. Jackson McGuire says my big issue is they had game ads in between announcements. They showed that basketball game 3 times, which is NBA Playgrounds 2, by the way. Disappointing event, but thanks for showing it, covering it.
Well, to be fair, if you watch at the very start of the video, it says that it's sponsored by NBA Playgrounds 2.
Ooh, 2K throwing that money around, man.
Yeah,
dude,
so
right.
I mean, it does make kind of sense, but fuck that game.
Let's look at it this way. This event got us ready for the Video Game Awards, which is going to be sponsored by Schick, Hydro, and all these other games. And this was just a preview of it. We're going to get all the same bullshit ads. And
they showed, they actually talked about that too. They were like, come see us at the Video Game Awards. It's like, why don't you just show it here? That was for that ID one because they were talking about Tunic, and Tunic looks awesome. And I was like, oh, cool, we're going to see Tunic. Nope. They showed like a 30-second spot for it, and that was it. And they moved on. I was like, oh, was it
last year that EA sponsored the Game Awards with Battlefront 2, and so they made everybody, and this was after all the bad reviews had come out, and so after everybody got their award, they'd make them walk backstage and say something nice about Battlefront 2.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that was great.
I really liked the graphics. Like, please let me leave while you're holding me hostage.
Oren asks, which version of Let's Go is everyone getting? I'm getting Pikachu.
Yeah, I got Pikachu with the stupid ball.
Yeah, I'm getting the Pokeball.
I don't even
too.
know
Yeah.
why. It's like ooh, it's a big box. It kind you know why I got the stupid ball one, because the big box reminds me of the Knights big box on the Sega Saturn, and I'm a sucker for big
The
boxes.
Walmart
like that.
near me already has the Pokeball Pluses out on the shelves.
Really, you should buy one.
I
and take it
tried. They
apart.
took it to the register and they it was register locked. They wouldn't sell it to me.
Just take it and run out the back door.
Run,
They
yeah.
won't even start. They
Yeah.
won't. They don't care.
Drop
Have it
$60.
stand something of equal value, and it'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah, so I tried to get one, but I couldn't. But yeah, they're already in stores and everything, so they'll probably break street date pretty quickly. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, so we had that. Then the two studios that were purchased were Obsidian and In Exile. In Exile. Did anyone know about In Exile at all? Like any of their works before this? Because there were a lot of people who seemed mildly confused at first, and then everyone looked it up, and then they even talked about Wastelands. They're like, "Oh yeah, I know Wastelands and Bard's Tale."
Yeah, didn't anyone play like Wasteland 2 for Switch last month?
I played Wastelands on PC a while ago.
I played Wasteland 2 on Switch. I didn't know what the hell was going on, and all my teammates died.
I'm so bad at it. I bought it for $10 on Xbox One when it first came out, and it was cool, clearly, but man, I'm so trash at it.
Yeah, so they picked them up, and then Obsidian. Obsidian is the interesting one. That was, I assume, that was their big announcement. It definitely wasn't In Exile. It was definitely Obsidian. People were a bit concerned. Some people weren't happy about it. First off, I guess they thought that Obsidian should stay by themselves, but I think Obsidian I think they were struggling pretty bad. I think they had to get picked up.
Yeah. Can I get Alpha Protocol 2, please?
I mean, at this point, I don't know what they're going to have Obsidian do. I think they're going to have Obsidian work on their own game. I think In Exile might be a supplementary studio. They might be sent to help another studio build a game, but
no, I want Alpha Protocol 2, Xbox One, 2, whatever the hell they're going to call it, exclusive, and then I will be very happy, because I am one of the few people in the world who enjoyed Alpha Protocol. Thought it was a great game. Nah, well, I'm not gonna say great. I thought it was a good game.
Check yourself there, jeez.
I'm not gonna say great. It's good. It's good. It's solid.
Did you ever crouch in the game then walk?
It's been a while since I played that game, but
I
probably.
just remember getting a silencer on a pistol in that game, and then immediately clearing every level without anyone knowing where I was.
Oh, that's right. Sega owns the IP.
Yep.
Well, I need to DM Sega after this. I'm asking where my Alpha Protocol 2 is.
Yo, bro, I'm calling in a favor.
Right?
there was also word going around about Pillars of Eternity 2, Deadfire, that's done by Obsidian. Apparently, it flopped very badly with its sales.
That's shocking.
I have a feeling they saw that happening, and I think they probably realized they were in trouble.
Well, I remember reading a thing about how Pillars of Eternity made them enough money to stay like in business, and they made Pillars of Eternity 2, and it made just enough money for them to stay in business, and they put a lot of cash into Deadfire. And I watched some reviews of Deadfire, and they were all really positive, but all the videos had like 0 views. It was one of those things where clearly like nobody gave a crap about that. And so I think they were like, okay, we need to be bought or we're going out of business.
Apparently they didn't sell more than 110,000 copies of the game.
God dang.
And I think Obsidian has a couple hundred people working there, if I'm thinking right. And if you're at that point, yeah, you're going to be in trouble. So I think it had to be done. Otherwise, Obsidian might not be around for much longer. So it's either they go away or they get bought and live on to make another game. And at that point, probably though, number of employees, because they have 170 people. But I assume that it'll be a little easier to build their game now with Microsoft backing them. There's less money concerns there, I assume.
Someone brought up an interesting point in the chat if Wasteland 3 would still come out on other platforms. Do you think that they could do something with any of these companies that they're acquiring, like they did with Minecraft, or Minecraft didn't become an exclusive, it just became a bigger thing on other platforms and actually released on other platforms after Microsoft's acquisition?
Yeah. So my theory is that they're buying a lot of these indie studios to start making stuff on every console and take money from every fan base, but then have like the biggest exclusive content stuff on Xbox One. So you want Wasteland 3, day and date, it comes everywhere. But if you want these extra 5 missions and this laser pistol that only shoots wieners, well, you got to get it on Xbox One.
Well, I'm getting it on the Xbox One.
Yeah, I don't really understand why people are so mad or frustrated about Obsidian being purchased, because they were honestly they're gonna. I would be surprised if they made it to next year.
Were people mad about that?
There are a lot of people who see it as like the kiss of death for Obsidian. Like they're in trouble now because Microsoft owns them, and that's it. It's like I don't really know. I don't know what they. Yeah, I don't really know what you wanted to happen then if you didn't want Microsoft to buy them, because they were going to either be laying off substantial amounts of people or just building much cheaper games. With Microsoft giving them a budget, they could build another big game. So
I think it's just the fear that with Microsoft controlling them now, that they'll say, okay, here, you're going to make this project. It didn't sell. We'll give you another chance. Your project didn't sell. So now we're going to shut you down. And I think people fear that. But at the same time, as you've been saying, Obsidian wasn't in a good place to begin with, where they were probably going to be shut down. And some of it is probably just fanboy wars of, oh no, we're not going to get an Obsidian game on our PlayStation 4 or, the Switch now because Microsoft owns them.
Yeah. Well, Pillars of Eternity too is still going elsewhere, isn't it? It's still going to other consoles, isn't it?
I think it's out already, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought it was going. I mean, that's the thing. No one really. It
Right.
didn't sell well, right? And that's just the way it is. But like, I'm almost positive that was going all over the place. It's even on like Steam. Microsoft. If Microsoft really want to do something, they would fix that Windows Store and not put anything on Steam. Yeah, no, it's going to Switch, PS4, Xbox One. It says quarter 4, 2018. That's for Deadfire.
Now.
So there you go. Maybe they looked at it and they said we can't gamble on that selling well. We got to go get bought, and they did. There you go. I think it's a good thing though, because otherwise you're just not going to have an Obsidian anymore.
Yeah, I mean, would people rather have Obsidian be owned by Microsoft and still have them develop games, or would they rather see them go the way of Telltale and not exist?
Yeah, like what if they give Obsidian Fable? What if they're like, you guys build Fable?
I don't know.
That'd be crazy. I mean,
Fable has to already be in development, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, Playground.
And what I will say about Obsidian is Obsidian cannot build engines. No offense to them. They're fantastic writers. They're the kings of quest chains. But when it comes to developing engines, they can't do it. So I think Fable would need to be really far along, and then they give them the Legos, and be like, okay, now turn this into like Obsidian Fable.
Yeah, what if Playground did all that, laid the groundwork, and then Obsidian comes in and finishes it?
Yeah. Wow.
Dude, that'd be crazy. I agree 100% with what Dreamcast guy said. That's why I said, oh no, like if Obsidian, because like Obsidian, it just seems like their games. I'm pretty sure Dreamcast guy, you've played a lot of them. They just fall apart at the seams at times. Like their games, like when you put, not every game, but like it got like worse. Like Fallout New Vegas, like literally it was like worse. Like a game, like I couldn't even finish the game. It would just crash every single time. It was worse than Fallout 3. For me at least. And then some of the other games that I've played from them, I don't know. I'm just not a huge fan of them, but I played all their games.
Yeah, I'm also not a huge fan, but there was something I heard about, because I played, I think it was Dungeon Siege 3 maybe. I was playing one of their games at PAX East, and I was talking to one of their devs, and apparently the thing they do that other development groups don't do easily is create a game quickly that is fully playable at the early part for investors to check out. So, I mean, that might be something looking into.
Okay. XO was disappointing. It was, but the good news is I think this might be the last Christmas maybe that the Xbox One is the lead system. So we'll see. But what do you guys think? Do you guys think that next E3 they drop Scarlet, they show us a few launch titles, and then we roll into the holidays? No.
If they don't, this is Wii U levels of catastrophe, in my opinion. Like I think they have to. They have to show up.
Is it?
No, they sold 35 million. They've sold
from a first party lineup. I'm talking about strictly from a first party lineup, because obviously, I own an Xbox One S. I enjoy my Xbox One S.
You gotta get that X, man. You gotta upgrade.
I'm too broke. But I don't know. Like, I think timing wise, it does make sense. For them to do it. Will they do it? I don't know. And if they don't, it's going to be very, very dry when it comes to first party offerings. But I mean, it's sort of been that way the whole time.
Well, I mean,
Gears 5 is next year, right? I think Gears 5 is at the end of the year. I think that's
it's
their
still
holiday game, but what else do they have?
They said late. They said like late or second half 2018
Yeah.
or 2019. 2019.
Ori's in the middle. That's spring time, right? Somewhere in there. We're thinking. I'm trying to think of what they would have for holiday outside of Gears 5. Would it just be Forza 8?
Well, there's like 5 Gears
Yeah.
games coming out, so it's just going to be Gears. All the Gears games will come out.
I mean, you'll have Gears, you'll have Forza. Microsoft has repeated the pattern every single holiday.
Halo, Gears, and Forza. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
well, I wonder if Infinite's going to be around 2019, or if that's not even that's a launch game for the Scarlet or something.
Ideally, it's Scarlet.
Yeah, that's like, man, what? Someone's got to go first between them or Sony.
I mean, that's the complex part right now. It's a
and
lot of internal information is saying that, based on what I've heard, I could find out a lot more information about PS5 than I can about Xbox Scarlet.
That's interesting, because you think it'd be the other way around right now.
Well, the thing I'm hearing is that from freaking Microsoft people I've talked to, Microsoft just wants to go first. They don't care what they have to do. They want to make sure they at least come out and talk about the Xbox 2 or Xbox Scarlet like on a stage officially before the PlayStation 5 gets its official reveal. Like, they're so afraid that if the PlayStation 5 comes out and has like a store page before they do, it's done.
Doesn't mean Phil Spencer's first system that he gets to launch. So we had Don Matrick.
Oh,
The last one drove that thing into the ground before it even got out of the gate. So
he was such a weirdo. I read a bunch of stuff about him after he got fired. He was a weirdo. He had like $1 million Lamborghini that he would drive like 100 miles to work every day because he didn't want to live in the city. Like, he was a weirdo.
It's gonna be fun whenever that starts up. Otherwise, E3 might be kind of boring if it's just these systems again, because I feel like Sony's first party stuff's moved on to PS5 development. So.
Well, I think that's the thing. Next E3, Sony and Microsoft can each focus on their next gen hardware and still have stuff for the current systems. I mean, they're not going to abandon.
Yeah, they're not going away. I'm saying
they have to go into next E3 and at least say, "Here's our plans for the next gen."
Right?
Do they?
Sony has. I mean, Sony's gearing up for 2020. They have.
Remember, like last generation, they didn't do that. Last generation, they went into E3 and did nothing the year before, then announced it early in the year, then launched it in that year.
I'm basing this.
They might do the same thing, right?
I'm expecting a spring 2020 release for the PS4
because they're dev cycles right now. Like they're finishing up. I mean, Last of Us 2 is coming out in 2019. We're pretty sure. I think Death Stranding, because apparently it's reached the polishing stage, is coming out in 2019 as well.
Yeah, I think the polishing stages for like Kojima are like 4 years long. So.
Yeah, they said they're done recording the audio, which means by 2024 we'll be playing it.
It's possible though that by 2020 a lot of PlayStation's first party stuff is on the next system. So
well, I know of one still major PS4 first party game that has not been announced.
Oh, okay, cool.
And so I mean, but their pipeline's dry. E3 showed everything they have in the pipeline except for like 2 titles. So Sony's, all of their internal teams are moving on to PS5 development. Microsoft hasn't really shown that larger. I mean, Microsoft didn't do anything this gen. So, I mean, you could almost make the argument that they've been gearing up for next gen since launch day of the Xbox One.
Yeah.
So Sony seems more prepared, even though they really have no reason to kickstart the next generation because the PS4 is selling well. Yeah,
it's sold really well this past almost hit 4 million units this past quarter. I think it was close, so it's still doing really well. It's going to do really well this Christmas too because of those Black Friday sales. Some of those Black Friday sales are ridiculous. $200 for a PlayStation 4 Slim, 1 terabyte with Spider-Man. That's insane. Speaking of which, let's move on to Black Friday. What's everyone doing for Black Friday? Anyone going shopping? There's some ridiculous ads out, by the way, right now.
I think I might. Every year I say I'm not, and then every year I do go. I want to try and just scoop up. There's been so many really, really good games this year in general, and I feel like I got most of them, except for a lot of the Switch ports that I ended up wanting to get physically. So I think I'm going to go Switch hunting and try and find some good physical games. And I think I'm going to pony up and get the Xbox One X.
You should. The Xbox One X is pretty good, man.
It's good. Well, and now I have a computer that can actually record like the higher frame rates and better like resolution.
Ooh. I don't think I ever. Can you guys see that? All right.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Yeah.
That's the Walmart ad that they have out right now. But you can see. I mean, they have basically it starts at $35 and it works its way down to like a $12.
Dude, I'm gonna buy. Oh my!
Yeah, they have a lot of good stuff there. I was looking at this and I was like, man, they got like Tropical Freeze is 35, which is compared obviously to 60, it's still pretty good. But then it works down. You got some 3DS games kind of thrown in there. 17, all those.
Oh my god, Skyrim for 35, and when I'm buying my girlfriend for Christmas. Yes.
Yeah, Xenoblade's in there for 35. Yep.
I'm gonna pick up. I think Detroit is $20.
Yep.
So I'm gonna pick up Detroit finally. I'm gonna pick up what else am I gonna get? I'm gonna get like a laptop too. Not obviously they don't have any deals there, but I'm gonna get a laptop as well. And then there's gonna be some memory, like the 400 gigabyte SD cards are like the micro SD are gonna be really cheap. So I'm gonna get that as well. I'm gonna probably buy some more games. Oh, Valkyria Chronicles 4 is $40. So I'm gonna pick that up.
Oh, Starlink is 40 also.
Starlink's 40 as well.
Oh
so
my gosh,
that's pretty good.
Guys, look, we can all get Destiny 2 for $17 right before it gets canceled officially.
It's currently free on PC if you just want to
I just got the free version on PC.
Right.
I also want to point out that the PlayStation VR is $200 there now.
Y'all crazy. I don't know how y'all go out and deal with these people and all these crazy people pushing and shoving. My ass will be at my grandmother's house in a food coma on Friday like this.
Who actually goes to the store on Black Friday? I go to Walmart.com, put Xenoblade Chronicles 2 in my box, and hit checkout.
Exactly.
I go there. I met a bunch of people actually last year. It was pretty cool.
Dude, I go and it's Texas, so I know everybody's angry and has a gun on them. It's awful. But every year I go.
It's the Walmart near me. It's super easy. You walk in, everything's got a sticker. You pick it up and you just go to the checkout with it. There's none of this like lines or pushing or anything.
I'll try to get some stuff online, but like looking at the Walmart, definitely FIFA looks very tempting on the Switch. I would like to own that. What else do we got here? All the other Switch stuff I already have that I want. Detroit for 25. That's a good. I would get that.
Yeah.
And then random cheap crap, just buy whatever. But it's not worth it.
You got Skate 3, didn't you, Sean?
Yeah.
I would say Skate 3 is $12.
God, everybody get God of War for 25. If you have a PlayStation 4, you're in chat. God of War for 25.
God of War 25 good.
Dude, you can Just Dance for 25.
Dragon Ball FighterZ on the Switch is 25, so I'm gonna go pick that up too.
Oh yeah, man! I almost bought that yesterday. I was getting Dark Souls. I ended up getting Dark Souls on the Switch yesterday, and I saw Dragon Ball next to it. I almost grabbed it.
Yeah, it's pretty good lab there. Oh, Mario Rabbids is also $25. That's a good one to pick up. I like that.
I think I'm just gonna get Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and then I'll get the DLC, and it'll cost me less than what Xenoblade Chronicles 2 costs me right now.
Yeah, it would.
I'm looking at I have a lot of these. I actually have a lot of these games. I'm looking at all this games on here. I guess. See, I'm not gonna get NBA. I'm not gonna get NHL. I have a lot of these games already. I guess I will go with some of the cheaper ones. Like I want a physical copy of Left 4 Dead 2 because I don't have a physical copy of that.
This segment is sponsored by Walmart.
I know, right?
Our Black Friday deals.
The reason I did
hashtag ad.
The reason I did that is because I have one right near me. So there you go. I was looking at an ad with you guys of what I'm probably gonna go look to buy.
This is you shopping to fill time.
I was like, let's see what I'm gonna buy here. Hey, everyone in the chat was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna buy this, that, and the other. We're all going shopping. I know, right? Walmart, you gotta sponsor this.
Yeah, influencer code.
Right. So we also had Nintendo Direct rumors. Those came from Gaming Intel. And I'm still confused about their situation over there, but they seem to think that there is.
If you say it enough, it'll eventually come true.
Yeah. They keep doing that. They keep stringing it along pretty bad, but they believe it's going to happen. So there you go. They are claiming there will be another November Direct. We've heard of an event of some kind happening.
It went from a direct to a mini direct. A drop to it might just be something at some point at some time on some random form of social media or network.
It's going to be a commercial they tweet out. Let's be honest with ourselves here.
Actually, they're going to Mexico City. And they're going to do an event.
We heard an event was going to happen. We didn't know when, but I was making the joke, and I'm a little concerned because I think it's become a reality that it could be for the mobile game for Mario Kart. For the Mario Kart Tour Direct.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, I've seen people mumble, and where's that at? Like, that's something I've heard some people just like that I talked to in passing. They're being like a Mario Run wasn't bad. I thought the Fire Emblem game was pretty good. Like, just just show me Mario Kart on a phone. Like, just show it to me. Why are you hiding it? You know,
It's Mario Kart would work really well on the phone. I actually think that would become probably their most popular mobile game pretty easily. Because phones work actually fairly well with racing games where you have like you can kind of turn with your phone and race around that way and everything. Like there's a couple games already on there.
I mean, you're under the impression that it's going to be like a normal Mario Kart.
It's going to be. It's going to be like a freemium one, right?
Well, we don't even know how it's going to play. I mean, for all we know, it's like Pokemon Go with a Mario Kart where you go to locations.
I hope it's just straight Mario Kart. Don't be crazy.
Where you have drivers and carts and you just let them do things while you're doing other stuff.
It's going to be worst case scenario. It's going to be Mario Kart. It's going to be great. It's going to look normal, but you pay for gas.
I'll be curious how they do that because they're going to work those microtransactions in, obviously, because they tried doing a Super Mario Run without them and they made more money on every other game that had microtransactions in it. So that's just the mobile market. It's like, what can you do? So I will be curious if they have something like that. That would be funny if they try to get gas or something. I don't know. But it has the potential to actually be a good mobile game that's updated a lot. And if it's Mario Kart with online multiplayer, that could actually be really fun.
I don't think it's far off on the whole gas thing. Like, let's say I don't think you're too far off. Hold up here. You have like basically like races, okay, and you need amount of gas to do the races. Kind of like what was it for like Fire Emblem? You need
stamina.
Like stamina. So I don't think you guys are too far off. I think it could be something like that.
Yeah, it automatically recharges naturally as dinosaurs die and crawl in your gas tank.
Yeah, seriously, don't. Yeah, they don't need to reinvent the. They don't need to
Yoshi.
reinvent the wheel here. No pun intended there. They don't have to do that. Just put Mario Kart on there, make it fun, and you'll probably get 1 million downloads in the first day, no problem. Like straight up, and then people will just spend a bunch of money. So. That's what I was thinking though, is a direct for that, because what else would they put in a direct that comes at the end of November?
Well, I mean, as I've said when on this topic before, I mean, they can still focus on early 2019. We could see New Super Mario Brothers Deluxe U again. We could see Fire Emblem. We could see Daemon X Machina. So they could still flesh out some of those early 2019 releases, or like what the No More Heroes game, we can actually hear what's in the season pass that we only learned about because of the retail copy.
Oh, geez. Yeah, that's a good point.
So,
yeah.
I mean, like, there's enough that they could go over. It's just, do you need the direct to really do it? Is kind of my bigger question. And
is it like a mini direct then, maybe?
That's what the rumor says. It would be a mini direct. So for the sake of argument, let's say it comes next week and they have Warframe in it, and then they detail early 2019 stuff. Like, that's a fine direct. You didn't need it. It's just kind of a nice, quick, I guess, holiday.
Yeah, because how would they have a direct before Mario launches, the 2D Mario game launches? That's in like right at the beginning of January.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
They basically wouldn't have any time because you're probably not going to throw a direct in after the Video Game Awards and before Christmas because it's kind of be a jam schedule. But they're running into that issue right now. Next week is Pokemon. Are you going to have it direct the day before Pokemon launches? Probably not.
They might. I mean, they did a really long ARMS direct when I already had a copy. They sent me my review copy and I was playing ARMS when they did the ARMS direct. So I wouldn't put it past them to do like an extended commercial for Let's Go.
Well, yeah, if they had something cool to announce in that direct, they might put it before Let's Go. Like there's something that was for Let's Go in it.
Yeah.
To like push them over the edge. Although that day reviews would probably already be out, right?
Maybe. I don't know. Who knows? I've heard they're keeping for some reason they're being real weird about review copies.
It's because last year it got leaked out and people were running around with copies of it and stuff.
Yeah. I think a friend of ours has a leaked copy of it right now.
Yeah, it's already leaked. So yeah, that's fun. Yeah, so that's why they're very careful with their releases. We've all seen, I mean, we get some of these Nintendo games the day it comes out. And it's like, all right, thanks. Yeah, so we'll see. I don't know. Any other thoughts on a possible Nintendo Direct at the end of the month? They seem pretty sure, don't they, Nate, over there? They seem pretty sure.
They seem pretty confident in it. I just can't figure out a time when this thing could actually drop, unless it's November 29th, the week before the Video Game Awards and the week before Smash Brothers, because the next 2 weeks you're running into holidays.
I will say this. There was, remember, Adam Curtin from Panic Button. He was like, hey, we've got new games to show this month. Mm-hmm. Yep. And Virtuos was also saying, hey, we got stuff to show very soon. So that's what made me think, well, maybe it's happening, because Panic Button and Virtuos both come out at the same time and say, we've got stuff to show soon. Panic Button was even more direct, saying this month and next month. So,
well, you see, that's the thing. Like, I had people DM me about that, and like this month for Panic Button could be Warframe for Switch. But Panic Button also makes PS4 and Xbox One and PC games. So what they're saying doesn't necessarily have to be related to the Switch, but I think everyone's mind went there by default.
well, he said new announcements though, but like Warframe isn't like a new announcement. Like, we know the date's locked, it's ready to go. You know what I'm saying? So he said
play stuff like that.
yeah. So I mean, like, he made it seem. I mean, everybody knows Panic Button for that, but yeah, I mean, you're right. They do make PS4 and Xbox One stuff.
See, like that's kind of like that's where I view, like when I read the tweet, and if people actually looked a little more into the tweet, you'll see that one of the replies is one of Nintendo's indie contact guys. So like that could, like, it still could have just been Warframe. And then even for him saying, oh, next month, it could be something at the Video Game Awards. Mm-hmm. So like, I mean, I'm not saying a direct isn't coming this month, or it just, I kind of like thought people just read a little too much into the tweet and just jumped right. Oh, it has to be Nintendo.
It's going to be Black Ops 4 on Switch, and it's going to turn out our favorite leaker Falco was right all along.
Oh God.
Yeah, exactly.
I knew it.
I think well, okay, so what about the N64 Classic then? When's that getting announced?
That's what I think it'll be. I 100% think that if we're going to see it, and if it's real and they're really pulling the cape back, I think it's going to be in November. I think it's going to be in the next week. I'm
concerned they would have to announce. They would have had to have announced it already, because I'm concerned that they wouldn't be able to get it out to stores for this holiday.
Mm-hmm.
That's my one concern.
Yeah, holiday marketing is in stores. It's set. It's done. It's, if they want to get it out before the end of this year, then they should have announced it 2 months ago.
That's my concern, because I mean, Sony barely made it in to the first week of December with their PlayStation Classic, and they announced that a little while ago. So it's like, I feel like they could launch the N64 Classic in like springtime.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think they get away with that. I think it'd be fine. And that would actually give them enough to, because they're going to drive. It doesn't need to be put in the holiday to sell well. It's just going to sell out no matter what. But that would at least give them time to gauge demand and then get ready and ramp up for the holidays and actually have a bunch on hand when people would definitely buy them.
Well, and I think a lot of people right now have been experimenting over the course of the last 3 years. People have been experimenting with really big January and February releases, like dropping higher dollar product in that window and seeing if it sells. And a lot of it is actually working out. Like, look at the crazy numbers of Monster Hunter. Like, there's
Resident
a reason.
Evil 7.
What was that?
Resident Evil 7.
Yeah, exactly. And I was about to say, that's the reason the Resident Evil 2 remake is coming out in January, 100%. And so I think if they ended up dropping it like February 12th, we just randomly get the Nintendo 64 Classic, it's going to sell 80 million, you know?
And it'd be good for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to cry directly into the slots of my Nintendo 64. It'll be great.
I think Kingdom Hearts comes out early next year too. So
there's a lot of games.
There's a lot of stuff coming out.
Crackdown.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff coming out early next year.
It kind of makes you wonder if like, does that mean that there's big shit coming out for holiday 2019? Like, why are all these companies, it almost seems like the companies are bunching up at the start of the year more so than spread out through the year and, looking towards holiday. And when you look at things like the PS4 and the Xbox One, you assume that you know what's going to be on those platforms. But I don't know, it seems kind of weird just how open the end of the year is.
I think it's because we're also getting towards the end of this generation. So like, they're trying to get everything in before we move on.
It's that. And I think, honestly, a big part of it is that June, July, and August sales the last couple of years have just been in the crapper. Like, that is such like a dead part of the summer now. So I think that they've gotten to a place where they realize you got to release stuff before May or in mid-May, or you got to release stuff in the fall. Like, that middle window is so bad now. So people are just trying to spread themselves more towards the beginning again.
Yeah, like, there's a lot of stuff coming out though for those 3 months, so it's gonna be tight for a lot of people. You got to pick some. Like, Devil May Cry 5 looks good.
Oh yeah.
See, like, there's a lot of games coming out. Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice is in there.
That's probably my most hyped game of next year, no joke.
Yeah,
that looks good.
Then we don't know when like Daemon Ex Machina is coming out. I don't know when that's coming out. I hope it's coming out. So Animal Crossing could be an early summer release. Then Fire Emblem could show up in March or April or something.
Yeah, Yoshi. All that shit.
Like, there's crazy. A lot of stuff happening. Yeah, it's like, geez, all right. So it's like every week a game's going to be coming out. It's crazy. And then Anthem and Metro come out on the same day. Fortunately, Crackdown got pushed up a week, but man, it's going to get tight there for a little while.
Anthem and Metro are like the two games I could care the least about, and they come out on the same day.
Anthem, really? You're not interested in Anthem at all?
No.
Wow, interesting. Okay.
You would love, dude. Seriously, you were gonna love Metro Exodus. And if you haven't played the first two games,
I have.
So yeah. Well,
like,
you know how
Metro games I pick up when they're on sale for like $10, and I always enjoy them.
Did you play the remasters of it? Because they actually added whole segments to that game between each chapter and the first one.
I don't think I did.
It's dirt cheap. It's called Metro. What is it called? I have it right here. Whatever the collection, and it's super good. And man, the mythology in that game, like it really kind of establishes the super dead, terrible world. So I'm glad that Exodus is finally just going to be like, yeah, what if you just wandered around in this dead as hell world?
Man, yeah, that's gonna be interesting. So, do you want to talk about Diablo Immortal over there, Sean? Yeah. Tell me about this Diablo Immortal situation.
God, that was beautiful.
Oh man,
I had fun ripping into that. My video really blew the hell up too.
Oh man, so Diablo Immortal announced at BlizzCon. Everybody fortunately has phones, so we're good there.
Oh god, boo.
So Diablo Immortal is coming to cell phones. Looks like it's done by NetEase and Blizzard, but NetEase probably did a lot of work because it looks like one of their other games.
Yeah.
And people are not happy. So what are our thoughts here on Diablo Immortal? When do we even know when that's coming out, by the way? Did they give us a release date on that?
No. And the demo is so raw. I think they just started development. The demo is so early on, equipping gear doesn't do anything.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, people were pissed. They have a right to be pissed because once again, let's go back to XO18. Timing, place, presentation. You go to Mexico City, and then you show off DLC and Game Pass stuff. You go to BlizzCon, your big stage, and you show off a mobile game. And you expect people, not only do you expect people to accept this mobile game, but you act smug as hell when they're like not in approval of it. These people paid a lot of money to go to BlizzCon. You know, I'm not talking about press people. I'm talking about the actual fans of Blizzard who went to this event, who spent money, who probably had to save up money, take time off of work to go to this event, to be treated to a mobile game that's not coming to PC at the time of that, at least at the time of that. And it's just like a slap in the face, man. It's a slap in the face.
It was extra because it actually, the rumor went around right after that they do have Diablo 4 in the works, but they decided to not talk about it there because they didn't want to take the attention off of the mobile.
See, Sean, you entered the world of Blizzard at the wrong time, Sean.
Really?
Jumping into Diablo 3 now, and now this happens.
And see, that's my thing. Is I've been a lifelong Diablo fan first and foremost, a little bit less Warcraft and Starcraft, but like literally I bought all the Diablo games as they came out. I ended up reading all the Diablo books, literally all 10 Diablo books. I love them so much. So it was so weird. And somebody in the Blizzard community phrased this way better than I could. And so I'm still in their words here, but they basically said like Blizzard's host speciality is that they see something that works well and then they copy it and improve upon it. Like they saw Team Fortress and they made Overwatch. They saw Baldur's Gate and they made Diablo. They saw Dune, the earliest like real-time strategy, and they decided to remix that into Warcraft. This is the first time where they basically handed off their project to somebody else and let them remix it. And it just seems so weirdly bad of like, look, like you guys already make Diablo. Diablo is so good. Why would you hand that off to these random scammy, creepy Chinese developers that just make crappy clickbait crap and be like, all right, you're Diablo now? It's just so weird.
How disconnected can you be from your audience? And then you even went on record saying, oh, we expected there to be some backlash, but not this much. It's like, if you expect there to be backlash, and the thing of it is Diablo really going to transcend into the mobile market? Like something I equated it to is like, you take something like Super Mario Run, you take something like Pokemon Go. Okay. The average person, if you go to the average person in the streets and say, which of these three things sounds familiar to you? Mario, Pokemon, or Diablo? More than likely, they're going to recognize two of the three. I just don't, you know, you look at mobile games as a whole, And yes, some companies do thrive. Yes, some companies do very well. But you look at Square Enix. Square Enix, year to year, is actually down in their mobile department. And Square Enix has, franchises that I think sort of transcend. Look at me. Like, I was not a huge Diablo fan. I didn't know shit about it, yet I play video games all the damn time. Why is that? Because Diablo, I always assimilated with the PC, and that's really where, it got its start. That's where people seem to gravitate towards that franchise. So I don't see this as a necessary, no-brainer home run for Blizzard to do a Diablo game on a mobile device. From a business standpoint.
So you didn't play Diablo until recently, so hopefully they fix it. Oh man, it was a bad look at BlizzCon. It definitely was, because then they said that all their some of their talented developers are now working on mobile games, and
was it really that bad though? I mean, I feel like Blizzard told people ahead of time that Diablo 4 was not going to be at this event, and people still went into it saying, "Where's Diablo 4?" Well, we told you weeks ago it wasn't going to be here. So why was this expectation?
Well, because in the Diablo community, they had all their people come out and make all sorts of big official posts that this was going to be a big year for Diablo. And so a lot of people specifically ended up going last minute to BlizzCon and buying last minute BlizzCon digital passes, because all the Diablo social media started being like, all right, BlizzCon 2018, this is the year of Diablo, get ready. So even though they never said Diablo 4, get your nipples ready, everybody kind of thought that was the direction. And I think they probably shouldn't have really full gunsed it that much with the hype.
Can I ask a question then? Because it looks like there's a contradiction, because they said don't expect Diablo 4, but then people were expecting it because they said that it was a big year. So I mean, what were fans thinking?
They were expecting something Diablo. I mean, it could have been just an expansion added to 3.
But they did get something Diablo.
They definitely did. And I mean, it's a hugely verbal community that hates it. But at the same time, I mean, we still haven't seen it hit the water. So this could be one of those situations where, even though none of them play it, just like Ubisoft, this as a mobile game could just become a huge thing for them that just adds to their company. And since it's Activision, their investors love it.
I think that was the problem. I think it felt more like Activision showed up there instead of Blizzard.
No, it's definitely that. Especially afterwards, when you find out at their investor meetings, they talked about how all their IPs are going to be going to mobile as well. So.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this just seems like it's the eternal debate of where a certain section of gamers are always going to belittle the mobile sector, but mobile is big. It's smart for these companies to bring their games to mobile. They make a lot of money. You can't ignore it.
Oh, I agree. But I think that a fan event was the wrong place for it. My thing is like E3, like when they bring Command & Conquer out on stage at E3, it's because E3 is an investor show. Like fans watch it, but that's about advertising product. Whereas fan events are about people coming together and celebrating like their fandom and showing off cosplay. That's why there was a 2.5-hour cosplay contest at BlizzCon. So it's a little bit weird at this celebration of what they've done with all these great franchises to come out and be like, oh, do you like cell phones? Yeah. Don't you have a phone? It was a bit wrong place.
And I feel like they could have included, they might have been able to get away with having Diablo Immortal at BlizzCon. But the problem was that was like their big thing. That was their big announcement. If it was like a side item and not the main course, I think it would have gone over much better.
So, I mean, we still come down to basically Diablo Immortal is just the Metroid Prime Federation Force to the Metroid Prime 4, where it was the wrong game at the wrong time because you didn't get the main appetizer that everyone was waiting for. They didn't want this side dish.
It didn't even necessarily need to be like a main game. It could have just been something else that was an interesting or important game getting announced. But to showstopper on a mobile game is a little weird.
That one guy asked about this having improvements that Diablo 3 they've been asking for in Diablo 3, and this is the mobile game. Did anyone figure out what improvements he was talking about?
So one of the main things that people have been asking for a lot by name when it comes to the Diablo community is people have really wanted them to expand on the 4-man formula, because that's been around for a long, long time. And a lot of people have wanted like Diablo 3 to either get more characters and bigger bosses at some points, because some people have tried modding that. And specifically, we've had them say, we're never going to go past the 4-man team because we think it's so well balanced. And so the fact that this comes out and starts showing 6-man and 8-man teams and more complicated boss fights that actually utilize everybody's skill set. The fact that they're actually blending together the different, because remember, there were classes that only exist in each of the games. There's only a few classes that actually carried over to the game. So it looked like we were seeing the Rogue and the Witch Doctor fighting next to the original Sorceress. So I think a lot of people are like, okay, cool. This is finally like the remixed Diablo we want. And they're like, and it's on cell phones. And people are like, oh.
Oh man, it's something else. The backlash was very, very big though. And then apparently they were losing likes or something off of their channel. Their video is weird. What were we saying?
After hearing everybody, because like I don't have a long history with like Blizzard like that. I don't like their games and all this stuff. Like I've never played them like that outside of Diablo 3. That's when I played Diablo 3 at launch. It was a very special game for me. I really like it. It was the day that my daughter was born, which was, I guess, good. And maybe I don't know. Anyway, regardless, I was in the hospital playing Diablo 3 the same night my daughter was born. So it was cool. So I really like that game and I'm fond of it. And I've been playing it since then. But after hearing kind of like what, I've watched all the different videos, that all of you guys made on it. Yeah, it made me think like, yeah, it was probably not the right place and time, for them to do something like that. Like and it's a mobile game. You know how people are going to react to mobile games, right? Like, yeah, like even like Nintendo was so worried about that. Like, not to just shoehorn Nintendo into it, but like, remember like at the Fire Emblem Direct back in 2017, like Nintendo early announced Fire Emblem was coming to the Switch because they focused that whole Direct on mostly Fire Emblem Heroes. So all they had was like a title screen, and and they just said, "Oh, it's coming to Switch." So don't complain. What I'm saying? Like don't get mad at us. So I mean, after watching all you guys' videos, I see like what the issue is, and like they probably should have done it a bit different because now you have this big old backlash and everybody's talking about it, not in a negative way.
Yeah, I think it's just that Activision Blizzard and people already don't have a good view of Activision, and now here they are getting a mobile game put in front of them. Probably probably more than half the people in the audience are water cooling their PCs, and they're like, put this on your phone. It's like, wait.
I think nobody did it better than Bethesda when it came to Elder Scrolls Blades, because they showed Elder Scrolls Blades. They put like 6.5 minutes of stage time dedicated to a mobile Elder Scrolls game, but then followed up by saying, yes, like people are working on this, but the next main dish is Elder Scrolls 6. Like,
and then they showed Starfield.
Yeah, exactly. So they really did it. And then they made it where then they didn't really talk about Blades again. I got to play Blades at BlizzCon. They basically asked me, they said like, hey, do you mind playing Blades? Like, we're not really advertising it, but we want people to check it out and be open-minded. And I played it, and it actually feels like freaking Skyrim on a phone. And so it's one of the things where it's like, okay, that's the way you should have done it. Like, it's probably going to have microtransactions, and I'm probably going to have to like pay every time I go through a dungeon, but at least it's different. And if I hate it, that's okay. Elder Scrolls 6 is coming.
And Blades is also coming to consoles.
Yeah, they still
and PC.
I talked to one of the developers on it. They're really shy about that. They keep just saying the words other platforms. They're not allowed to say other platforms. But I do think it's going to come to Switch specifically at some point.
It's supposed to have like massive crossplay too, across like everything.
It seems like it's all going to be based. So I played through the demo a couple times now, and I did a video about it a while ago. And it's basically, it seems like it's going to be Skyrim without the open world. You're going to drop into a dungeon and you bring your teammates with you, or you choose to have like random teammates, and then you just play through like one boss fight, and when you get the main chest you leave.
Let's move on over to Square. So Square Enix had some interesting stuff happen this week out of nowhere.
No.
So we had this live stream, and I think all of us were looking at the live stream like, oh good, more DLC. They're going to try to sell us another season pass. And they show up and they say, we're canceling 3 of the 4 DLCs and Tabata's leaving.
Oh God.
And it was like, whoa, okay, all right. So that was kind of out of nowhere too, because this live stream was at like 11 o'clock at night or something.
Yeah,
my time.
10 p.m. Yeah, my time.
Yeah.
It was late basically though. And it was weird because they probably didn't need a live stream for all of that. Some of that could have been like press release. It was very weird to do a live stream for that, but they show up, they talk about how the DLC's canceled. It sounds like the studio that they had that Tabata was heading is moving on to some big game that they're going to develop, which more than likely is Final Fantasy 16. That's probably why we assumed Tabata left, because he didn't really want to work on. He talked about before how he wasn't interested in doing Final Fantasy 16 after 15, I guess. And now Square is kind of left without him. He's apparently going on, I guess, to form his own studio, is what it sounds like.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Sony, Nintendo, Microsoft, somebody's probably running to him to help fund it and get him to make something for him. But
Yeah, I think he got real frustrated because anybody who follows Square specifically, you know that Tabata was the fixer for like the last 10 years. Like when
Yeah.
projects were completely destroyed, they would bring Tabata in and he'd glue it all together and actually launch it. And yeah, okay, 15 had some plot holes and you could only play as one of the 4 characters for the first year, but at least he managed to launch it. And I think he got real exhausted of only mopping up other people's messes. So I think he was finally like, I'm going to go direct my project and it's just going to be legit and be full of weed and hookers and you can't stop me. I'm honestly really disappointed. I didn't want more DLC, but I'm also sad that all the DLC got canned. In fact, they said specifically the only reason we're even getting the Arden DLC is because it's 90% done and they'd lose money to cancel it at this point.
Yeah, they lost $33 million, apparently got written off.
Yeah.
And a lot of that had to do with that studio, the
Luminous one?
Luminous studio. Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently that like just demolished their bank account. Like they lost 30. I was like, how'd they lose $33 million already? And it makes sense if you think about them writing off a lot of that downloadable content that was probably in development.
If you read something else about that thing, also, they talked about alternate media content was absorbing a large amount of cost. So a lot of people in the Final Fantasy community think that somebody was secretly working on another Final Fantasy 15 movie. And then for some reason, Square Enix came in and said like, holy shit, you are all fired. Like, what in the world are you doing?
That's crazy. They were really trying to get as much as they could out of that series.
Yeah.
Man,
The game sold 8 mil. Like you would think that would be some sort
but
of.
the problem is that
success.
the engine that it ran on cost like a metric ton of money to develop. Apparently,
and that's the problem with modern AAA games. Like if Square Enix is feeling the burn on a mainline Final Fantasy game, I don't know, man.
But they could have now they could have just built it in Unreal Engine 4 probably, and then they would have probably been able to move it to other platforms much easier. Like it would have been on PC probably like years ago if it was done in Unreal Engine 4.
True.
They rebuilt the entire game 3 separate times. Somebody did a video, I think, called Forgotten History of Final Fantasy 15, and they actually managed to like data mine all this crazy early builds of like skyscrapers and spinning buildings and all these extra things that they just spent so many millions and millions and millions of dollars of developing and then just deleted. Like 15 was just such a shredded project.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think that Luminous engine is going to be used again. At least I don't think it will. I mean, you'd think they would maybe use it just because they try to get more of their money back, but they might be writing that off.
I think another problem with Final Fantasy 15 is that just the amount, like you said, the amount it takes to make the game in general. It's like, yeah, they sold like 8 million, but the game was in development for like 10 years. And then it switched systems. You guys all know when you switch systems, that's a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like if the cost just jumps because you already developed something, scrap all that. There was a PS3 version of this game and there's still footage.
Yeah, it was like 13 verses or whatever.
Yeah, there was a PS3 version that was up and running and you could play it, and that was scrapped and that looked expensive as hell on the PS3. And you guys all know how it wasn't developed for the PS3, you know, like with the cell and all that. So they had to scrap all that work, and it's just like, oh no, you know, like all that's been been scrapped, and they go to PS4. So I mean, like I don't know if they've made their money back completely on this. I'm not even sure. I mean, to be honest, I don't even know.
So something else they said that actually really shocked me is one of the reports talked about the fact that none of the DLC sold, that like their single player DLC, like all those content packs were made to try and get more profit, and it just didn't really work.
None of it sold? It didn't sell good?
I know. Yes. And so that's their biggest thing, is that they're just being like, the whole thing was like, okay, we're going to take away 60% of the team, put them on other projects, get 40% of the original team to make cheap DLC and keep getting more cash out of this. And apparently effing nobody bought it. So I bought it. I bought all the DLC and I liked it. I dug it. And I think that's why they tried to double down with the Royal Edition, was to basically kind of trick people into buying the single player DLC as a pack, because it just apparently was not at all moving.
Well, because we didn't hear anything about like, oh, this DLC pack or whatever was up on the charts high enough, or we didn't hear anything about that. So now what you're saying is like puzzle pieces, like that. What you're saying is just put everything together. Because I remember not hearing anything about it, and then all of a sudden, bam, Royal Edition comes out. It's like, well, what about the individual? Like, what happened? So thanks for putting that together, because I didn't even think about that.
And that explains why they were in such a hurry to cut the Final Fantasy 15 multiplayer into a separate game, because so many people were intimidated by all this single player DLC. They're like, okay, we got to saw this off and put it over here and sell it separately, because people aren't going to look past all that to see this.
Yeah, it's something. I don't. I'm gonna be curious. I mean, we'll find out probably next gen, whatever their new studio is working on. But man, that's Final Fantasy VII Remake still needs to eventually come out.
It'll come out on the PS5 and the Xbox One too.
I think it is going to be a PS5 game. Yeah,
No way in hell does it come out for this generation.
that's a shame. Maybe they'll go back and get
maybe it's cross.
Yeah, it could be if it's Unreal. It's Unreal Engine, right? So yeah, it probably could be a cross. Hopefully they go back and grab Crisis Core and do something with that. That'd be cool. They talked about possibly looking back at some games that kind of surrounded the 7 universe.
Yeah,
and that'd be cool.
The official name of it is the compilation, the Final Fantasy VII compilation, and they've talked about rolling pieces of the compilation into the 7 remake. So I'd be down for that. Some flashbacks or something.
So, real quick, I know we're about to move on, but I mean, do you guys think that they're still going to do this whole episodic? The game is split into 3 parts, but it's like Lightning Returns and like that.
Well, it's so I've gotten some leaks that at this point are 2 years old, so who knows how accurate they were. But the first leak that was handed to me was that basically the entire first one was supposed to be an expanded version of Midgar. The whole first game was going to be called Final Fantasy VII Midgar, and was actually going to really expand more about who the Avalanche were, more about their terroristic actions, showing Cloud actually facing like his inner demons earlier on, and then it would end with the big escape. The big motorcycle scene was going to be the triumphant finish of it, and then that would lead to an abbreviated like disc 2 version of the events up to Eris's death. And I thought that was a good idea, but yeah, apparently like who knows how accurate that is now. Who knows?
Would you guys want that? Because we already know the story of Final Fantasy. So I mean, we'd be getting the story broken up. Like it's different, I guess, like with Lightning Returns and all. We didn't know, you know, it's a new game. So would you guys want that to where it's the whole story broken into pieces like that into separate games?
I do. It's my favorite game of all time. I've said that many times over. I actually own the unofficial fan books that a guy wrote, the novelizations of Final Fantasy VII. And something I've wanted is for a version that's drastically different. I've always wanted to see, like, let's not just paint the same picture again. That's what somebody phrased that when it came to the Ocarina of Time remake on 3DS. As the developer said, like, we don't want to paint the same picture again. We want to make some changes. And I think that's how I feel about this. Is I'm totally okay with it, but I want to see it differently.
Okay. It would be. I think I'd rather just have everything all at once in one package. Just all at once, just one game. But if they have enough content, they can spread it out to where it makes sense, and they can maybe look a little more at each scene and do extra stuff to it. Yeah, I'd be okay with that. If it's, 7 was already a fairly longer game, and they seem to gloss over a lot of stuff in that game. Like certain scenes could have been longer at times, but I think it'd be cool if they took a look at it. But I'm curious if that game will be mature rated now. If they bring it into like this kind of like with these kind of visuals and everything, they got away with a lot of stuff because there's PS1 graphics.
that Aerith death scene is gonna be like huge blade.
Well, there was a scene where Cloud just starts slapping up Aerith right away.
Oh yeah, he does smack a bitch. That's right.
Yeah, so I'll be curious how they get away with that. Let me move on over to the PlayStation Classic. We saw games and everything, but then we also had hands-on with this for plenty of outlets, and they were not very kind to it. It's aesthetically and how it feels and everything. It feels like quality. The controllers feel good, but when you actually get into the system, it looks like they're using an open source emulator called PCSX. And have you seen the screen where you pick the games and stuff? It looks like
really weird.
It looks like an amateur developed it.
Well, have y'all ever bought those like hacked Chinese systems that are like 85 Genesis games in one, and the menu is just like a picture, and you're scrolling through, and each picture like lights up? It looks so much like that.
Yeah, I'm looking at this. I'm like, it's a real shame that the 64 isn't coming out so far that we know of, because that would have been really interesting to see them go up against each other, because I think the 64 would have run over the system pretty easily.
There's no charm. There's no charm to it.
Did you read the performance issues though? Like apparently Tekken 3 struggles at times. It's not a constant 60 or anything. And
what?
There's performance issues?
Yeah,
I didn't hear about performance issues. I heard
OJ's face was like he just fucking peed in him.
Go read Eurogamer's talk about it. They were like higher frame games like Tekken 3 where they're trying to get 60 out of it, struggle, and it feels all floaty and stuff. And it's like, oh man.
What is it? IGN Australia did a special video on it that was really interesting, where they got to sit down with it for like 3 hours, and they just played basically 5 games on purpose. They like purposely played less games, and they were like, everything looks and feels a little bit weird. Apparently, the only game that runs 100% perfect, they said, was Metal Gear Solid.
Well, yeah, at least that runs perfect.
That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. I thought it was going to be a little bit better. Like I saw the crappy UI, but I read one thing said that the games play fine. Like that was one of the headlines. Like, okay, well the games play fine, but now you guys are telling me so. That's why I was kind of shocked. I was like, there's performance issues because I read something that said the games play fine.
Well, and that's why mine's coming in the mail. I'm gonna buy. I'm buying my own. I asked Sony for one. Sony, when it isn't giving out review copies to anybody but giant websites, I am gonna review one though because I'm curious. I have a video coming out this Thursday. It's already made. I'm doing a top 10 Thursday about the 10 games I wish were on it because the freaking selection is definitely leaving something to be desired.
Come on, you got Rainbow Six on there. That's a classic PS1 game.
This thing doesn't even have analog sticks, and we're trying to play Rainbow Six here.
I know.
Rainbow Six sucked on the PlayStation.
It was really bad.
It was somewhat tolerable on the N64. It was good on the Dreamcast. It was great on the PC. Yeah. But Jesus Lord, the PlayStation version sucked.
You remember how there was no visibility? There'd be night missions. You could see 5 feet in front of you. There's just a black wall. It's like, maybe you don't release this.
Did you see that you press the open button to change discs?
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of cool. I guess you get to a screen in Metal Gear where it's like putting disc 2, you press the open button.
Did you see there's save states, but you can only create one save state per game?
Yes. Oh, man. There's no scan line filter. There's no backgrounds.
Is there like rewind feature or anything? Like
no rewind feature.
Well, and there's no ability to stretch or anything like that. So when you're playing the game, you have the giant black bars on the side, which I'm okay with it, but I know a lot of people hate that now.
It puts out 720p apparently, so that at least gives us that. But it's interesting that because Sony went after Bleem back in the day, right?
Yep.
Remember that? So now they're
people.
using an emulator that's not theirs.
And Bleem kicked ass. I loved Bleem.
I own all 3 Bleem discs. They're great.
That's how I played Gran Turismo 2, was with Bleem because it looks so much better.
Yeah, I'm jealous. That's the way I played Tekken the most.
That's funny.
Yeah, I'm looking at Eurogamer's thing. There's noticeable lag, minimally so when playing a 30 FPS game such as Ridge Racer 4, but more pronounced in 60 frame per second games such as Mr. Driller or Tekken 3. They feel soupy in the hand. Soupy in the hand.
And that's my thing is that I was fine buying it. $100 is steep, but my main problem is the selection. Like the fact that there isn't Gran Turismo or Tomb Raider on there are such glaring oversights. Like why isn't Silent Hill on there? It's so bizarre to me.
Wipeout, like why isn't Wipeout on there? It was Wipeout not a huge franchise that was a multi-plat because there was Wipeout 64 and the original Wipeout came to the Saturn, but then didn't Sony end up buying Wipeout and it became a first party IP?
Somebody theorized that due to some reason it seems like Sony signed some contract where they wouldn't put any game on there that recently got a remake because there's no Castlevania, there's no Tomb Raider, there's no Wipeout, like anything that's gotten a remake in the last 3 years they didn't put on there. Anything.
So weird.
I know. Yeah.
No Jet Moto.
Jet Moto. That was another game that I thought
I didn't think of that one. Yeah, it's a great one. Yeah.
I had a tear, one single tear down my eye when there was no Jet Moto.
I don't know why they put the Persona in there, the first one, but they didn't put like Mega Man Legends instead. I would have rather Mega Man Legends.
And that's the bad version of Persona 1, like the one that has all the messed up translation. So it's like,
this isn't going well.
It's really not.
Oh man, I'm getting one. Who is getting one? Max, you said you're getting one.
Yeah, I have it pre-ordered. Yeah.
I'll pick up one just for the collectors, but I don't know if I'm gonna play it much. I mean, I have the NES Classic and the Super Nintendo, and I don't even play those, so I'll just pick it up just because.
I play the Super Nintendo Classic occasionally because I like that a bit more.
I play the NES Classic a bunch. The NES Classic Edition has, in my opinion, the best, like the cleanest, best version of the original Final Fantasy ever. So I got the wireless controller for the NES Classic Edition. Love it.
I do want to play that though because I haven't. Yeah,
it's so good. It is so clean and it's so crisp. Man, I love it.
Play that.
So that's that. What about who's getting Let's Go this week? Actually, we might as well talk about that before we finish up. Let's Go's coming out on Friday.
Pikachu bundle, my Pokeball Plus ready to go.
Yep, that's what I got. Stupid ball.
Yeah, I'm getting that as well. I think they're having a midnight release actually here for GameStop.
Oh, really?
So I'm gonna go get it at midnight. Apparently,
I got it off Amazon.
And we'll open the Pokeball thing up.
Rip it.
Oh yeah, rip that sucker apart. I don't know if I'm going to use it because I guess you can still play it in handheld mode. You just apparently like move the switch to throw the ball or something. I don't know.
Well, the Pokeball was supposed to be like outside of it. You're supposed to be able to like carry it around or something. I thought
It syncs
extra.
up with your phone for Let's Go as well, or Pokemon Go as well. So that's something, I guess. I don't know. We're gonna see. I don't know about this game right now. I don't know.
Yeah,
we're gonna see.
I got to play it up in Canada. I didn't care for it. I made a video just basically spelling out my my concerns.
You're concerned that it's too easy, right?
Yeah, my concern is that it's a very, very, very simplified version. The biggest thing to me is you get a lot of experience points. Like every single time I got in a fight, I leveled up a couple times. So it's one of the things where I feel like it's a game that if you wanted, you'll be able to beat in like 7 hours. And I feel like a Pokemon should be like a 20-hour good RPG.
Oh, Beat 'em Up's got the console. Man, he went all in with that. Did you get Did you get the Eevee or that? Wait, no. Is there just one console, or is there? No, it comes with a different game. That's right. I'm sorry. A different game. That's right. I think he might have told me last week and I forgot.
My girlfriend just got the Diablo Switch. I'm so jealous. It has the angel and the demon fighting on the back.
Yeah. How's that thing look in person?
It looks so good. I'm so jealous, man. And she keeps rubbing it in my face because we're playing Diablo nonstop together right now. And she keeps being like, oh no, let me just set this on the demon console.
Okay, Wood got Eevee. All right. Yeah, see, everyone else I'm getting Pikachu. Is everyone else I think is getting Pikachu also?
I got Pikachu.
Yeah.
I'm just looking forward to battling against other people. That's what I want to do. Like an HD Pokemon where I can battle against other people before the new Pokemon game comes out.
I think that's the thing I want to see is really take a look at the visuals here. Obviously, because that's probably what we're going to lead into for the 2019 hardcore Pokemon game.
You full on ordered your checkers to go, didn't you?
Yeah, I got Uber Eats.
Uber during the show. Nice.
I didn't expect it to come as soon as it did.
What did you? All right, Sean. So Uber Eats. I've never used Uber Eats. Do they just go out, pick it up, and then bring it to you? That's how it works.
Yeah, you place an order at the restaurant that is applicable for Uber Eats. They pick it up and they bring it to your house.
Wow,
it's awesome.
And you just pay the driver, and that's it.
No, you pay with PayPal before you even do anything, so you don't have to worry about anything.
I've done it before. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Good stuff.
Did you at least tip the driver?
You don't have to because Uber pays them, but sometimes I do. I'll probably tip that guy. He was nice.
I did it once, and they brought me a burrito with no tortilla, and so now I just don't do it anymore. They literally brought me a container filled with beans and rice, and so I'm like, okay, I don't trust these people anymore.
Oh,
yeah, man. I usually do it with like McDonald's and stuff like that because sometimes McDonald's, like, they'll get it here faster than I could get in my car and drive there and order and come back. Like, it's crazy. But
because there's a dude sitting outside there with the app on, just waiting to click accept.
But Aaron says Eevee is better than Pikachu, but I don't think that's the case because you can't evolve Eevee.
Yeah, they're unevolvable. So I mean, you'd rather have the electric abilities than a bunch of normal.
Yeah, but
how about that?
Eevee's cuter than Pikachu.
Oh my god, are we really playing that card, Nate?
Yes. Look at Eevee.
Some people like Eevee the way that Eevee looks. I'm just looking, like I said, I'm just looking forward to playing. I want to do the whole master battles afterwards, where you can kind of train up. Like there's 150 different ones. I want to see if I can get all those done.
There's on the Eevee train over here.
If you have the Pokeball, you get a Mew. So I'm super hyped. That'll be my first time ever owning a Mew.
You gotta buy the Pokeball to get a Mew.
You gotta buy the Pokeball. You gotta buy the Pokeball to get a Mew.
$50 microtransaction,
they missed out.
bro.
They missed out big time there. They should have had a truck that you have to push and then you get Mew.
That never actually happens. That was fake.
Yeah, that was the best fake. That was an urban legend when we were kids, man.
Yeah.
Kids will never know that now.
I tried to do that so many times, man. I tried to do that so many times where like I tried to push the truck and never got anything. Some kid told me he'd get me a Mew when I saw him at freaking Toys R Us when we were gonna play. He never gave me the Mew. He never showed up. I was pissed.
There was a legend in my school that you had to get all 150 Pokemon and then try and use strength and push the truck, and it wouldn't work. And finally, a friend of mine just bought a Game Shark and gave us all Mews, and we were like, yes.
What was that? Do we ever figure out that was that truck just decoration that you never really see?
Decoration. Somebody a couple of years ago actually finally hacked the console, like hacked a cartridge so you could move it, and underneath is nothing. There's literally just a void, and they're like, "Oh, okay, well, now we know."
That's too bad. Well, yeah, I'll be picking that up Thursday night, I guess. I'm gonna open up that Pokeball and see what's in there. Should be interesting. Apparently, you can play the whole thing just that Pokeball. Nate, are you picking it up too?
I haven't really decided yet what I'm going to do about Let's Go. I mean, if I buy it, it'll be like a birthday gift to myself, but I still have to decide if I get Pikachu for like Pokemon Yellow nostalgia's sake, or I go with Eevee because she's just cuter than Pikachu. So I'm not sure.
So much wrong information in this. This is so weird.
Anyone who doesn't think Eevee is cute should be banned from living.
Oh my god, man! This is death threats. Y'all have heard this in chat.
That serious, huh?
Eevee is life.
I wonder if you can still catch an Eevee or a Pikachu in the opposite games.
I'm
Did
sure.
we ever figure all that out?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't ask any question when I went and played the demo of it in Canada. They basically just put the controller in my hand and explained the controls. I forgot to be like, okay, which Pokemon are in this, or I just played it.
Yeah, so you can't evolve your Pikachu and you can't evolve your Eevee. So that's the way it is. I wonder, does that mean the Eevee's just gonna have all the boring moves like just tackle?
No.
Well,
100% Tago, some rollout.
Eevee has some awesome moves in the game.
Well, and I clearly, because the version I played was Pikachu, and Pikachu had like no. So I saw someone playing Let's Go Eevee on the other screen, and Eevee definitely had fire attacks. So clearly, this is like the super version of Eevee and Pikachu from like Pokemon Yellow, where Eevee or where Pikachu could learn surf and stuff. So clearly, that's what this is. They have special animations.
I think Eevee can learn any of the special moves that the evolution state would have. So you could get the electrical, fire, water.
Yeah.
Oh wow, okay.
It'll just be in the Eevee form, but with the more powerful.
Yeah, he does like a special animation when he does it. Like the fire one, I specifically saw him do a fire one, and he like turned around and wiggled his tail, and flames came off it.
What did Sean get from Checkers? Did we figure this out?
It's like just a bag of French fries.
He's going crazy over there.
No, I
got a
got
burger.
a Checkers burger with cheese, small fry, and a 4-piece mozzarella stick.
See, I've never had Checkers before.
I never
Don't
heard
you
of
have
it.
one near you? I thought you
I
had
don't
one down
think
the
there's-
road from you.
I don't think there's a Checker. There's a Hardee's, and there's a Sonic.
Oh yeah, that place.
There's something else, I think. I know there's a Burger King and McDonald's down there. There's like a heart attack row down there. So I don't go down there much.
A heart attack, bro.
Yeah, there's a whole place down there to get your arteries clogged down there.
Yeah,
Checker's interesting though. I do like try different burger places. Like I've wanted to try what's the place on the West Coast that we don't have here? In-N-Out Burger.
In-N-Out, yeah.
They just brought In-N-Out to Texas, and it was like a huge deal for the first year. And now no one gives a crap because we have Whataburger.
That's a place I wouldn't mind trying that. Just to see if that's as good as it is.
I mean, obviously, I don't eat meat, so I have no idea if their food's any good.
See, I eat all the time. I eat meat constantly.
Constantly. I look at your camera and you're putting a piece of ham in your mouth.
Yeah.
I kind of cut back. I don't really eat red meat anymore. So
I eat a lot of turkey and chicken.
I eat chicken and turkey, but I don't.
And fish if I can.
Yeah, fish, turkey, chicken,
Yes,
but no like normal red meat like beef or anything.
I'll usually a steak once a week or so. Just because
Somebody buys me a steak, I'm down. I'm completely down for somebody else.
Yo, man,
to buy.
ShopRite hooks it up, man. They got it for good prices over there. Already cooked, even. Yeah, I guess that's our show though. Is there any other topics, guys, you want to talk about before we finished up?
Did everybody else get a chance to play Fallout 76?
Oh yeah, I have not. Are you under embargo for that?
No.
What?
Like I could talk about it. I could talk about it at any point because they realized that like there's going to be a 50 gigabyte day one.
Yeah,
patch.
tell me about this. There's a 50. It's bigger than the game itself.
Yeah, the game is weird. It is the most empty game I've ever played in my life. It feels like you've gone to a shopping mall and everybody just left. All the stores are open. You can walk around, but there's nobody there. And the weirdest part is people are constantly, like, a lot of quests are people calling you on the phone and stuff. So you're talking, like, clearly the world is supposed to be full of people. If you go to certain areas, you can even see people like flying around in helicopters, like NPCs apparently flying around in helicopters doing stuff, but you never see them. There are no NPCs in the entire game. So literally the whole game, if you see another human, it's another human whose name is normally like Blunts for Life or something. And it's very bizarre.
I don't know. That sounds like a pretty realistic depiction of West Virginia.
Yeah, exactly. I will say when you're playing by yourself, it's boring as hell. Playing with others, though, I think I've done I've done almost 20 hours or so now, and most of that was co-op. And I've had a blast with co-op. The most interesting thing is the map is enormous. Like, holy hell, this is by far the biggest Fallout, and there are secrets everywhere. but there's no signposts and stuff. So you actually have to talk to people and they'll be like, hey, I found this weird island where it spawns Deathclaws over and over again. Or, oh, there's actually a ghost over here. And we went and found it. And we're like, oh, look, there's a freaking ghost. So it's very, very cool because you have to like communicate with other players. But I feel like it's something that's not going to be interesting in like a couple months. Like we found a vault. I found my first vault. I actually found Vault 96, but all the vaults are locked. So it seems like that's where all the downloadable content is going to be, is being able to go into like other underground areas. But yeah, someone said in chat, sounds like Sea of Thieves Fallout Edition. Exactly.
Oh
yes.
man. I don't think that's a good thing.
The weirdest thing of all is that the game is very much balanced to be by yourself difficulty wise. So when you're playing it with other people, it's way easy. You get a XP bonus, you get money bonus. And so when I was walking around with 4 people, it was just pew, 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 killing everything. Everything is made so you can beat it at level 1. You don't really get stronger. You just get perk cards. It's weird. The whole thing's weird.
Okay, that's out Wednesday, I believe, right? They do that weird thing where they release on Wednesdays now.
Yeah, I have a big video coming out about it, so it's probably going to end up being like 20 minutes long. I don't want it to, but there's so much weirdness in that game. I've already written part of the script, and it's so much.
Cool. Okay, what's everyone going to be playing this week? Any plans outside of Let's Go?
Let's go and Brawlhalla.
Brawlhalla, okay. Let's go. I'm going to try to work through Red Dead a little more. Red Dead Redemption 2.
Going on the ranked on there, man. I'm cooking on the ranked. So I'm already bopping some fools on ranked. So I'm gonna get back into that. Kind of warm up.
I'm still tinkering around in Warframe's Fortuna patch. That's about it.
Oh wait, yeah, you have your video coming out about that, right? To get people ready for
not the Fortuna stuff, but just the overall game. But I'm playing in their most recent expansion for open world.
Yeah, you already uploaded that video for Warframe where you help people get started in Warframe on the Switch. So there you go. What to do so you save a bunch of time and level up and get money and everything.
That is the goal.
Get you set up pretty quick. What about Sean? He's still muted. He's got food in his mouth still.
I'll be playing Red Dead as well, chipping away at that. I'm also going to be playing Road Redemption, which is that Road Rash looking spiritual successor that just came out on the Switch. And I don't know. I guess Pokemon later in the week, and then I don't know if maybe some random indies show up in my inbox. I'll check those out too.
Sweet. What about Nate? Got any plans for this week for games?
Nothing planned. I probably will just take it as what comes my way. If something cool comes into my inbox, I'll give it a play, but nothing really scheduled to play.
I'm gonna play Hitman 2 also. I feel like I should go buy that and play it. I think I'm gonna. I don't know how interested I am in Fallout. I'll be honest with you, Max. I might wait on Fallout for a bit.
I'll be honest. So after playing all these hours of it, I've played it only with strangers, never with friends, and it's one of the first multiplayer games I've ever played where I probably wouldn't enjoy it with friends. Like I think it's such an empty sandbox. We could not really make our own adventure in it.
Got it. Yeah, I'm not really interested in Battlefield 5 because EA's pulling some funny business, so. Probably pass on that too. Also, if I really want to shoot her, I'll just play Call of Duty or something. So I'm good on that.
Yeah, from the sound of it with Hitman, it's story's meh, but the amount of stuff you can do in it, it's ridiculous.
Okay, I'm in for that then. I'm fine with IO Interactive. They're branching out. They're trying it themselves, and they got rid of that dumb episodic thing. So I'm willing to take a shot now. The Quiet Man did get its audio patch, and I have not played it yet. I need to try that. Thanks for reminding me, Micah. I'll play it though.
Watch everybody have a terrible voice and be like, as I walked into the alley.
I will play it and find out. We'll see. That's our episode for SpawnCast. Thanks to everyone joining us. Let me go around here. Let's start with OJ. OJ, where can they find you?
Yeah, right here on YouTube. You can find me, Player Essence. There's not really much coming up. We're going to do streaming with Pokemon Let's Go, so expect a lot of that. We're probably going to do some more Brawlhalla stuff. We got a Super Smash Brothers giveaway that we're doing as well. I'll link that to you guys in the chat. And it was crazy. Shout out to, I know my boy Dre's here. We gave away 3 Switches last night, which was just insane. Wow. So yeah, I know it was crazy. Andre sponsored 3 of them. So yeah, if you like giveaways and if you like community events and live streams, I do live streams every single day. Q&As and stuff like that. Nintendo news, RPGs, Japanese gaming news. You check out the channel.
Cool. Okay. What about Nate? Where can they find you, Nate?
They can find me at Direct Feed Games on Twitter. From there, you can find a link to my YouTube channel where I'm always bringing you direct feed footage of Switch, PS4, and Xbox One games. I actually have a comparison for Trine on Switch comparing the docked to undocked, so you can see if there's any performance differences. I mean, obviously there's resolution, but that should be up maybe Monday.
Yeah, what's interesting about that is now that application is out for the Switch, if you watch it on there, you'll actually see what it looks like visually.
Yeah, I actually had a guy say that in a comment on my undocked direct feed footage of Diablo 3. He said he watched it on the Switch YouTube app, and he got a really good idea of exactly how the game was going to look if he decided to buy it. So it's good to see actually people get a better idea. It's useful.
Yeah, it's actually very, very useful with that. This is pretty cool to see. What about Sean?
You can find me on RGT85. We are currently doing a $100 eShop gift card giveaway once again. This time it doesn't have to come out of my pocket, though. My buddy Ryan from Castlemania Games was kind enough to sponsor this one and do it for, that. So we got that going on. Don't really know what's going on this week. There'll be a Road Redemption review, obviously some sort of Pokemon content, and then just whatever else I feel like talking about that pops up in the news.
Cool. All right, and then Max, what about you, man?
I am youtube.com/Dreamcast guy. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we have big freaking reviews coming out. So I am not going to sleep. I saw people in chat asking when I sleep. The answer is never. But Monday, I'm going to be talking about Spyro, and I got a lot to say about it as somebody who didn't really grow up playing the games. I'm going to be reviewing it as like if it rocks in 2018. Tuesday is Fallout, and Wednesday is going to be Battlefield 5. So definitely be ready for that. And then I'll die. But just youtube.com/Dreamcast guy.
And then we have Evan. You mentioned someone we could raid.
Yeah, looks like Avidan's streaming.
Okay, cool.
So you can head him up.
Go ahead and drop that into the chat there, Evan. Guys, go say hi to Avidan and let them know SpawnCast sent you guys there. And that's going to do it here for tonight episode. You said 84, Evan? 84. Very good. It's going to be up on SoundCloud, iTunes, and everything. And all the patrons will have it in probably the next 15-20 minutes, since Evan's pretty quick on that. So guys, go check out Avidan. It's in the chat right now. Go check that out. Say hi. And we'll see you guys next weekend, 9 p.m. Eastern time, Saturday night. We'll see you guys then.